Peace, family, peace. I hope all is well. Before we get started, well, we already are started. Am I clear? Guys, press one if I'm clear. Because I know lately the stream's been coming in kind of fuzzy and blurry because of the other apps I've been running while I've been streaming. So press one. Let me know if you can see me clearly, not fuzzy, not distorted. If you see me loud and clear. Okay, so we're good to go. All right, so guys, welcome. Thank you all. Thank you so much for joining. Make sure you like, share, subscribe. Make sure you go to dynastymir.com. Also, tour announcement, Sierra Leone. Hold on, Sierra Leone. Guys, I'm gonna update the site, the actual Donfo site now, here in the next 30 minutes. So you guys will know Sierra Leone, November 26th through December 6th. That's the tour. Okay. November 26th through December 6th. Citizenship. So all those have been asking, Diana, citizenship. How do we get citizenship? How do we get citizenship? Where here's your opportunity. It's going down. Dates are subject to change, but it's going to be in November, early December. It's already been announced by the government. So the government's already given us a range of dates. So if you're interested in joining Donfo, please go to donfo.africa. Please go to donfo.africa to learn more. I'm going to update the site after the stream, but I'm going to go ahead and announce that now as well. So there we go. Here goes Brandon. Brandon, how was the
Hold on,
how was it good? Oh, you gotta go finish it off. Okay, no problem. Yeah, so here we go. Sierra Leone. I'll go homecoming tour. Citizenship is available to those who qualify. And then also, even if you just want to come and join us, if you're not eligible for citizenship and you want to come and join us, you are more than welcome to come and join us in Sierra Leone. So yeah, that's where we're at. That's what it is, y'all. And we got a special guest on with us today. Brandon, can you hear me? Can you hear me, Brandon? You hear me?
Yes,
Okay.
Yes.
We got a special guest on with us today, Mr. Brandon with Pan-Africanism Strikes Back. And today's topic, Eastside Long Beach, crib. You still cripping, Brandon?
You know what I'm saying, on a daily basis.
Okay, I'm saying, were you rolling 20s or were you insane?
Rolling 20s.
Okay. But okay, Brandon, let me ask you, why do Crips be banging on other Crips? Pause.
In Long in Long Beach, it's just like stupid little rivalries. Like, we all knew each other since we was kids and stuff like that. So things will happen when you little. Like, I'll be real with you. I had when I was young, I used to go to my grandma's house on the west side. It was these kids. Their last name was Everett, and I would have like birthday parties. You remember back in the day, you had a birthday party in the driveway. Y'all opened up the gate and everybody could go through the driveway into the backyard. Tommy the Clown would pull up and stuff like that. These dudes always used to like crash my birthday uninvited, try to fight me, take my stuff, just ridiculous stuff. So as we grew up, they ended up being from insane, and I ended up being from 20s. So say you run into each other later in life, you're like, hey, them fools used to be tripping when it was little. I'm gonna go beat them niggas up right now. So like, just little stuff like that kind of escalates. Stuff over women, just different ridiculous little stupid stuff.
All right, cool. So today's topic, Brandon, will FBA ADOS become as xenophobic as South Africans?
Is it not already as xenophobic as South Africa?
It's not there yet. It's not there yet, Brandon. It's not there yet. It's not there yet.
No, it's not there yet, because it's still a small group. Because most people in America who are black don't even know what FBA is or ADOS or any of that. So they can't really be as xenophobic because they don't know these talking points. Most FBA or most descendants of slaves in America don't even know who Tariq Nasheed is, Jason Black, or any of these people who perpetuate this narrative, So I don't think it ever will because, fortunately for us, we have a government that is, they do a lot to squash that type of ridiculous like stuff. That's the problem with South Africa. It's a failure of government. It has nothing to do with immigration or any of that stuff. They lie. It's the government that has failed and the people who support the failed government.
Guys, hit the like button. Also, hit that super chat button as well. Again, hit the super chat button, hit the like button. Here shortly in about 25 minutes, I'm going to put the link in the chat room. So if you want to join the conversation, if you want to add to the convo, you'll be more than welcome to join the conversation and add however you want to add to the actual dialogue. So hit the like button, share. Shout out to Marie, Shine in the chat room. Shout out to Marie, our Sierra Leonean sister, Marie. And hit the like button and super chat as well. So Brandon, do you think if the government was not in the way, do you think FBA, ADOS would be as xenophobic as South Africans?
No, because FBA ain't gonna fight nobody or go attack nobody in a large group. We scary. FBA is scary. Slavery got FBA, ADOS just handpicked. We cry because somebody don't like us. So what make you think we really gonna go fight somebody? FBA only perpetuates violence upon other descendants of slaves. Like even with immigrants, we're not gonna mess with them because even if the government wasn't in the way, people in America have the right to bear arms and protect their property. So it just can't get there. One of the problems with South Africa is it's a disarmed society. So people can't even have guns to protect themselves. You know who's really real when them guns come out. you know if you just mad, you a little mad or you big mad once them guns come out. You know what I'm saying? So I don't think so. In America, there's just too much access to firearms, bullets, training, all that. It would just devolve into like a situation where everyone just insulate themselves and like sets everything up like in a defensive way. We wouldn't do anything. We got to go to work in the morning.
He said we got to go to work in the morning.
We got to go to work in the morning. Black folks in America.
Okay, but Brandon, does FBA and ADOS have legit grievances towards other Black immigrants?
Nah, it's all lies. It's all excuses. FBA is dealing with the residuals of our decisions, right? When the white man let us out of slavery, we built up our economies. We did everything FBA is saying they're trying to do. We've already done it. We built up an insulated economy. We had Black Wall Street. We had our own sports leagues, our own grocery stores, our own department stores, our own schools, our own colleges. We gave all that away to gain access to white people's infrastructure. That's what desegregation was. None of that had anything to do with the immigrant. And even now, Dynas, you see that when you hear these FBA ADOS people talking about immigrants, you have a hard time getting them to clearly define exactly what the immigrant is doing. And we discussed this morning when I told you, you had the little liar Lozy, the dude from South Africa, and the other dishonest lady, Shirley, get on here yesterday. And they say, immigrants are in our business, Dynas. Ain't that what they say, Dynas? Immigrants need to stay out of our
business. They're saying, Brandon, that they're eating off FBA's plate. They're ADOS plate.
Yeah, but that's what they say. Immigrants need to stay out of our business. They eating off FBA's plate, right? But when immigrants come to America, for the most part, they're not even involved in politics. They don't care about that. They're here to make money. But you know what happens? Black Americans are playing like a shell game. On one side, we get mad at the immigrants because they're in our business, right, Dynas? Then on the other side, we get mad at the immigrants because they don't want to be in our business. If you say these immigrants are in our business and they need to stay out of our business, how the hell are you getting mad at immigrants because they don't want to march and protest for George Floyd or for Black Lives Matter or for Trayvon Martin, which they did. They did support those movements. But if someone stays out of your business, Dynast, and you answer this question for me, if someone is supposed to stay out of your business, is that person then supposed to march for your issues?
Well, I think what they mean by that, Brandon, is if when it's time. Okay, here we go.
Yeah, get it out.
With,
Get it out. You
yeah,
stuttering like
I'm gonna
FBA.
get it out. Give me a second. Let me formulate it. This is what they mean, Brandon. What they mean by stay out of our business. If it's not a benefit to us, if you're not coming to support us, leave us alone. Stay out of our business.
Okay.
If it doesn't support us, if it's not advantageous towards us, if it doesn't go against our best interests, then just stay out of our business. I think that's what they mean.
Okay, so tell me, you name for me, since you're the resident FBA on the panel, what have we done in the past 65 years? What have we gathered together in mass to do or support that has been in our best interest?
Hold on, Brandon. Hold on. Okay, here we go. Being able to go to Becky's or Karen's diner and eat her fried chicken because our fried chicken wasn't good enough in the hood.
Okay, but we all know, we all know that Africans and people from the diaspora supported the civil rights movement. They were fighting their problems, we were fighting our problems, but the Black American was known at what is known as the vanguard of revolutionary movements around the world. Literally, when the Black Panthers would go to other countries, they were referred to as generals. I brought a brother who was a Panther onto my channel, one of my teachers, Akinsanya Cambone, who was a member of the Sacramento Five, who were on death row for the murder of a police officer in Sacramento. He said when he landed in Rwanda, they referred to him as General Cambone. And he was getting given orders, and they were deferring to him on decision making when it came to their strategy for dealing with the problems they were facing over in their countries, all over Mozambique and all that stuff. So to say they didn't support us, not only did they support us, they took instruction from us on how to carry out their revolutionary operations in their country. The only problem here is that we changed the narrative, because now when you look at all those dudes who are ex-Black Panthers, revolutionaries, they're all married to white women and working at white colleges on payroll with tenure. Right or wrong, Dynast? Okay,
Right.
so we changed the messaging. We told the African, hey man, forget all that revolutionary crap. What you need to do is go get you a good education from this white man, and so you can get one of his good old jobs, right? Now the African has switched their strategy. Now what are they doing when they come over here, Dynast? Getting that good education from that white man and getting that good job, right or wrong? We are the leaders. Everything we do, they imitate. The problem is we went from trying to work, get education in white companies, in white schools, to get jobs in white companies. Your clarity and resolution is good. We went from trying to go to college and get those good white jobs, which we still do that. But what we try to do is we try to start these little fake ass revolutionary movements where we try to act like we don't want to be a part of white society when we really do. Because everybody on here talking about FBA, reparations or else and all this stuff, they go clock in at their white owned company every day, go get treated like shit every day at their job, and will gladly do it with a smile on their face because I ain't about to mess up the bag. I ain't about to give up this good job that the white man gave me. So it's fake. So now we're operating in a state of total dishonesty. And because the African won't come on into that hypocrisy with us for the most part in America, we get angry with them. We say, you're undermining us. Africans in America, immigrants, Dynast, let me ask you a question. Have Africans changed anything they've been doing in America since the day they first start coming here?
No.
They still just come, get a job, work, try to get the bag, right? That's
Right.
what the Black American worships. Get the bag, get the money, get the money. But now that Africans have figured out a way to get the money in many ways more effectively than us, we get jealous of them. We hate them because they're better at doing what we told them to do than we are. Not because we can't be good at it, but because we've become spoiled and comfortable. Just like the descendants of those Africans. If their parents don't stay on their ass, they will become spoiled and comfortable. You got Black Americans talking about Black folks ain't got no money. Cut the check. We need money. Dynast, did you know that there are 1.5 million Black millionaires in America?
That many? 1.5 million?
There's 1.5 million Black millionaires in America.
Wow.
We have more millionaires in Black America than the entire population of St. Lucia. There are Caribbean islands with a smaller population than just the amount of Black millionaires in America. But you don't see a movement around, let's get these millionaires to start buying up and controlling manufacturing. You see the Buy Black movement and WeBuyBlack.com, those things, but those things have some support. But do you see us trending on Twitter about buying black? No. We're trending on Twitter about xenophobia and defend the tribe and all this stuff. It's like you saying this, it's like this, Dynast. I'm complaining because I ain't got a way to work. Dynast, this no good African and took the car and now I can't get to work. You say, Brandon, we got 2 cars. There's another car in the garage. The keys are in the kitchen hanging on the wall. I don't want to drive that car. I want to drive the car that no good African took. See, we're just like spoiled children. You won't let me win, so I want to take my ball back and go home. This is what we're doing. And it's just all rooted in hypocrisy. And so when you talk to these people, like you witnessed yesterday, you'll see that when you start asking questions, the goalpost starts moving. We went from the immigrant is in our business to why won't the immigrant help us in protest and march about our business to we're really the Hebrew Israelites of the Bible. We had dudes talking about they hate Africa. Like we had a lot of cognitive dissonance. Greater Ethiopian was like, Africans this, I can't stand Africans and they coons. Then he's talking about he loves Africans. I love my African brothers and sisters. Guy has 2 separate trains of thought in his mind. Shirley, same thing. I never said I wouldn't work with Africans, and I never said I didn't like Africans. Then she went into the xenophobic tirade. Oh, nigga, have you ever ate grits, and do you know how to fry bologna, nigga, and all this stuff? You want the fried bananas, nigga, and the beans and rice and all that stuff. These people don't know if they're coming or going, Dynast. They don't know if they're coming or going. But the reality is, this is the end point if you take anything away from this show. We are trying to blame immigrants for failures in government. Dynast, under Trump, were immigrants allowed to come into America unfettered?
No.
They had stay in Mexico policy. The stay in Mexico policy was so effective that Black communities in Mexico begin to grow because Haitians and stuff would come from Haiti trying to come through Mexico into America, and they had to stay in Mexico, remain in Mexico. So they started forming their own little communities in Mexico. So that was working. But what did Black people do, Dynast? Who did we vote for? 89%.
Biden.
And what did Biden do to the border?
Open it up.
He opened up the border. He let immigrants, bro, they flying immigrants in. They busing immigrants into major cities. They got the catch and release program is back in effect. They're not even testing these guys for COVID. All you got to do is do the research. If you are so angry against immigrants, which remember, we're cowards, right? So we only go after the immigrants who look like us. But if you are so against immigration, why do you, if immigrants are taking your lunch, they're stealing your lunch so badly, why do you continue to support politicians who have policies that allow immigrants to come in and steal your lunch? The problem is you need to be
because of what he said on Twitter. What he said on
right.
Twitter. He's a mean guy on Twitter. That's why.
Yeah, he's mean, the orange man. You need to be going upstairs to talk to the CEO, but instead you want to go down to the basement to talk to the niggas in the mailroom. You want to go beat up the mailroom guys instead of going up to the CEO where you can really get the problem handled. That is the same exact situation. Look, the guys, just like South Africa. South African, Dynast, listen, I don't care what a South African tells you. I'm going to tell you about South Africa right now. I'm going to tell you the dirty, nasty truth of South Africa that South Africans won't tell you. Dynast, when that white man was controlling that apartheid government over in South Africa, he had that border on lockdown, okay? In 1994, when that good cracker handed that government over to these white Zulus and everything else, he had that government on that border on lock. You couldn't just come in South Africa whenever you wanted to, walking across, moonwalking, and bug dancing across the border like you wanted to. He had that border on lock. He had a system. He had a system. He had a resource, institution there that was guarding that border. It's called border control. And they were making sure nobody got in. Damn it, they was making sure nobody got out too. Now, when he handed over to the blacks, what did they do? Did they keep that border intact, Dynast? Did they keep that border strong to where immigrants couldn't come over there? Did they do that, Dynast? They started stealing the freaking money.
No.
They started stealing the money, doing what black governments do in Africa, pilfering the money, taking the money, giving it to their cousins, doing cronyism and nepotism, putting their baby mama's cousins, baby daddy, uncle in charge of stuff, and it deteriorated into what it is right now. You have a porous border where there is really no system of operation there, or no vetting system. I watched a video. There was a guy. He was an Arab immigrant. That guy said when he came into South Africa, the lady told him straight up, fill out these papers, give me $350 bribe, and you got permanent residency. He filled out the papers, gave the lady the bribe, and he got permanent residency over in South Africa. The problem is not him. He's not the problem. If someone kicks you, you don't go attack their shoes. You go attack them. If someone kick you and take their shoes off at the door, you don't go and chew up the shoes like a dog. You go in and deal with the person who kicked you. Your government is failing you in South Africa. The government you continue to support. ANC has been in power in South Africa for too long. The ANC is the government entity that perpetuates the policies that allows for unchecked, unvetted immigrants to come into that country without any type of registration, right? And you can't say, oh, it's the immigrants, because the white man was effectively keeping those immigrants out, right or wrong, Dynast?
Right.
The white man was doing a fine job at keeping them out. But now the black man has the reins and they can't keep them out. Guess what? That's not the immigrants' fault. That's your failed government. And if you're in South Africa and you're too much of a coward, like Lozy, to vote for a system or a system of government that secures your border the way it should, that doesn't give you the right to go do violence against other people who are not from your country, who are immigrating over there for a better life. That's the coward's way out. What that really is you want to use illegal immigration as an excuse to commit crime. Trust me, I'm Black American. I know all about it. Dynast, I had Negroes over here talking about, yeah, man, this is a revolution for George Floyd. They use that as an excuse to go down and break up in the CVS pharmacy and steal up all the codeine out? How did stealing the codeine help George Floyd?
George Floyd, right?
How did stealing all the Xanax out of CVS pharmacy help George Floyd? How did breaking into the Daniels jewelry? You know your mama used to get that jewelry from Daniels because she ain't got no money. She had to finance that jewelry. How does
On
breaking
Lelway.
she get the Leone? How does breaking into Daniels jeweler help George Floyd? How does breaking into the Foot Locker help George Floyd? How does breaking into the Costco and sliding under the ice cream machine and pulling the lever and just allow ice cream to freaking engulf your face, how does that help George Floyd? It doesn't. George Floyd was just the excuse that degenerate Negroes needed to go do what they wanted to do anyway, which was loot and steal. Just like in South Africa, they want to loot and steal. So what they do is they use illegal immigration as an issue when the only thing that's going to fix illegal immigration is a change in government. Let's talk about the numbers, Dynas. South Africa.
Go ahead.
79.
One second. Guys, hit the like button again, please. Hit that like button as you come to the chat room. Also, hit that super chat button. No super chats yet. Well, y'all being stingy today. No super chats, but hit that like button. Go ahead.
Okay, let's talk about the numbers in South Africa. Since they didn't got your boy, I try not to talk about African countries because it ain't my business. But since this Negro Lozy want to talk about Black Americans and all that, I had to get in his ass real quick. 79% of all farmland in Africa, in South Africa, Diners, guess who owned it?
The Europeans, white people.
Whites. Guess how much farmland in South Africa blacks own?
Like what, 6%?
4%. So when you talk about lack of opportunities, lack of jobs, when you talk about non-South African immigrants stealing your jobs in South Africa, that doesn't sound like an immigrant problem. That sounds like a white problem. Because if white folks control 79% of the farmable land in South Africa, that means they are the ones controlling your food supply. That means they're the ones controlling your agricultural companies, the production and processing of crops, right? White people are hiring immigrants in your country. But you're not going to go after whites who hired the immigrants. You're not going to go after the government that doesn't tell those companies, hey, if you're hiring illegal immigrants, we're going to strip you of your land, we're going to strip you of your ability to do business in this country, and we're going to kick you the hell out of here. Or we're going to give it to some blacks, or the government's going to take control of it and hire our own people. No, you don't. They're not going to go after the whites. Cowardly, afraid, right? Don't want to go after those whites who literally are telling the immigrants, come on to South Africa, we'll give you a job over the South African. You won't go at them. Let's talk about the 4% blacks who own the blacks who own 4% of the agriculture. Man, you ever notice, Diners, the same people who never pick up the phone when you call them when they need something, they'll call you back to back to back to back to back to back.
Some money. They need some money.
Right. So let me call this person back. They'll be sending my shit to voicemail all day. But okay, so let's talk about the blacks only owning 4% of the agriculture. Well, that's a problem right there. You don't even own any of the means of production in your own country. That's what's killing your jobs. Because if you own more of the land, then you can make it a point to say, hey, I'm only going to hire legal registered South Africans to work at my company. In America, Diners, remember when it used to be illegal for companies to hire illegal immigrants?
Yep.
But then they laxed the policy. It's still illegal. But in certain states, they allow you to hire illegal immigrants. They don't enforce the law. So what's going on in South Africa? Maybe there is a law on the books against hiring illegal immigrants, but they're not enforcing it. Recently, in the past couple of years, they raided several manufacturing plants in South Africa. Diners, do you know that they found that up to 89% of the workforce was illegal immigrants?
Wow.
89% of the workforce were people who were not South African citizens. I don't think that that's an immigrant problem. I think that that's an enforcement of the law problem. I think that your government is Cyril Ramaphosa and his cronies I think that they're more worried about stealing than actually dealing with the problem of your companies preferring to hire immigrants over the citizens of that country. But instead, like a true coward, the cowards that you are, you guys want to go on the street and attack women, children, men who are just trying to make a better life instead of going to the government. Here's another kicker, Dynas. You never hear these Negroes talk about the Chinese immigrants coming over there, coming in trying to take the economy over. The Lebanese immigrants coming over there, they control all the technology. They do all the cell phone repair. They selling all the electronics up in y'all shit. You don't hear them attacking. You don't see the black South African going after those immigrants. Because, Dynas, this is what's going on. Now, guys, I said a lot. I'm about to break this down right here. This is what's happening, kinfolk. South Africa is a very unique situation. The white man fucked up in South Africa. Let me tell you how. In America, on that plantation, the white man made sure that he did the Jim Crow policies and the Willie Lynch policies that turned the black slaves against each other from the get-go. House niggas versus field niggas. Dynas, am I right or am I wrong?
You're right. You're right.
So on that farm, that good old white man in America said, look, I got to make these niggas look at each other as the enemy before they both get together and recognize me as the enemy. Then they come hunting for my head. This is what FBA and ADOS is. House niggas. People like me, the real people, we the field niggas, like Malcolm X said. This is the mistake that they made in South Africa. The white man in South Africa, he was not as intellectual as the white man in America. He didn't have the same history of chattel slavery and buck breaking as the white man in America. So what he did was he treated all blacks like shit equally, right? He treated them all like crap equally. Well, Msimbo Mlanga, look, if your country is complex, let me explain it to you. Because you clearly don't think well, because this ain't that complex. What this dude is doing, so this is how South Africa is different. The white man effed up and made himself the enemy, Dynas, of all blacks in South Africa. So they all were able to come together and identify him as the enemy and get his ass up out of there. So now what the white man has to do, and what he's successfully done, is he had to do Willie Lynch 2.0. He had to figure out a way to turn the blacks against each other. See, in other African countries, you had tribalism, where blacks divided themselves naturally. They divide themselves without any influence from the white man. But when you treat a bunch of people of a certain color like shit, they tend to come together based on having a common enemy. You guys understand me? You feel where I'm going? They tend to come together based on having a common enemy. And that's the mistake the white man made in South Africa. He treated the blacks like crap so bad that even tribes that hated each other came together to get rid of his ass. So now that white man, because he's still in South Africa pulling those strings, he's like, I got to figure out a way to get these blacks at each other's throat so I could more effectively control them. That's when he started perpetuating xenophobia. Let me allow a bunch of non-South Africans into the country to give them another group of blacks to hate. Let's let a lot of non-South Africans in the country so they can have someone that they hate more than they hate us. And that's why you will have people like Lozi. He swears he hates he's so South African, he loves blacks. Lozi is a white kiss ass. He's an Indian kiss ass. He's a colored kiss ass. He wants to get with whites and coloreds in South Africa to expel the Nigerian immigrants and everything like that. So when you think these guys are B1, they're not B1. They're totally against black anything. They want to let the whites take over. Even Lozi said that. Even if they're white, whoever's more qualified should get the position. So now that they've succeeded in making each other hate, giving you another group of blacks to hate, now you're going to do their dirty work for them. But you
Hey,
never.
hey, Brandon, guys, number one, hit the like button again. Please hit the like button, and we're gonna go ahead and open up the lines. Brandon, can we bring some people on?
Bring them on. Bring them on, and they can talk with as long as they want. The only thing I require is please answer direct questions.
Okay. All right. Lee J. Yasu. Unmute
It's
yourself.
Liz Yasu.
Yeah, Liz Yasu. Unmute yourself, and then also too. Okay, go ahead, Liz. Go ahead, Liz. Go ahead, Liz.
Where are you from,
Yeah,
Liz?
what's up, guys?
Liz, where are you from? You Nigerian?
Well, I'm Ethiopian. I'm Ethiopian nationality-wise, but I pretty much live half the year in Eswatini, which is pretty much like a South African
South
country,
Africa.
and I've
Okay, yeah,
also
South
gone
Africa.
to boarding school in South Africa.
Okay, go ahead.
Oh yeah, so I was gonna say when it comes to the border stuff, it's a bit complicated what you said about like the borders used to be closed back when the apartheid government used to be there. If you remember, there used to be a lot of there was a mandatory conscription back in the day, and if you remember, all of the Southern African neighbors of South Africa at the time were closely aligned with the Soviet Union, while America was the only uh, when South Africa was the only American aligned nation, and this created a lot of beef between those countries, and those countries almost came to war so many times during that time.
Okay, let
So
me stop.
this
Let me
wasn't
stop
just a
you.
regular border
Let me
operation
no.
movement; it was more of
Okay,
a war operation movement.
wait. Let me stop you. Let me stop you, and let me ask you a direct question. Did the system work to keep the borders under control?
Dude, do you want to conscript people
I
again?
just asked you
Yes,
a
it worked, but it
straightforward
was an
question.
extreme.
Stop. Hold on,
Yes,
kinfolk. Hold on, kinfolk. This is what I don't like doing. Did the situation work to keep the borders under control?
yes, but it was
Okay,
unsustainable.
wait. Okay, so now no, it was totally sustainable. So you're talking about they almost went to war. What the hell is going on over there right now?
What do you mean?
What's going on in South Africa right now? Are people not
There's no
getting
war. I
killed?
don't know what you're.
Are people not getting killed because of xenophobia over illegal immigration?
Yeah, they are, but I mean
So
that's
wait, so wait, so
mostly
wait.
occasional,
So
and
you
it's
don't
more.
want to conscript. So you don't want to conscript because it might potentially mess up the relationship with South Africa and the countries surrounding South Africa. But
No, that's
letting
not what
go,
I said.
that's exactly what he
I
said.
was gonna say, well, when apartheid ended, conscription also ended around that
Listen,
time
bro, but what
because
I'm
the war
telling you
economy didn't
is
have to keep going.
the conscription. Listen, bro, you can keep elements of something without keeping that thing totally in place. There's a lot of different things that it's like, okay, I'll give you an example here in America. Dynast, who created the WIC program in America?
The government.
The Black Panthers created it. The Black
Really?
Panthers, yes, the Black Panthers are gone, but yet WIC is still here. So even though the government was the enemy of the Black Panthers, they got rid of the Black Panthers, but they still kept something that the Black Panthers started that was beneficial to the society. You South Africans swear you're so freaking intelligent, but then when it comes to calling you out on your bullshit, you guys want to play dumb. There was no murder and xenophobic killing in South Africa under the conscription. You Negroes got rid of conscription in the name of peace and unity. Now, the same Negroes who got rid of conscription in the name of peace and unity are now trying to kill, not trying, they're killing people because they let go of the policies that were keeping their borders secure. Oh, we want to save the relationship of South Africa with its surrounding neighbors. The relationship between South Africa and its surrounding neighbors now is absolute trash, right or wrong.
Oh, it's pretty good.
Because of
Why would their
stop, bro.
relationship be trashed?
Because of unchecked immigration, right or wrong.
No, it's not that bad.
Oh, here we go.
They
So
have
people not dying.
even the
So people.
immigrants they have a problem with tend to not come from those countries.
So
The
people.
Zimbabwean,
You guys, they don't like Zimbabwean immigrants. I was in South Africa and watched a guy talk all kinds of shit to a Zimbabwean waitress, and you're
I
telling
was
me
gonna
they don't
say
have a problem?
the immigrants they have the most problem with, by far the most problem with, is the Nigerians. It's not really the Zimbabweans
Listen,
or
bro, they
maybe
hate
the
the
Zimbabweans and
Zimbabweans,
Mozambicans.
bro. They hate the Zimbabwe. Listen, first of all, these guys have a problem with all immigrants. Don't start saying it specifically because these guys hate Zimbabweans. They don't want the immigrants over here. Pretty much, we listen. Here we go, Liz. I understand what you're saying. because what you're basically exposing is the level of lies and hypocrisy that these South Africans are using to justify the fact that they just want to do degenerate behavior. That's what you're exposing, because you're speaking to the reality. They don't really have a huge problem with these immigrants, but they want to loot and pillage and pilfer and steal, and the excuse that they have is what? Illegal immigration taking our opportunities. So what you're saying is technically right, but what I'm using is the same talking points that they use, right, to justify stealing, looting, and murder and killing. I'm using that to basically debunk the bullshit they're saying. If the borders were a problem, if you guys hate illegal immigration, you guys should demand that your government
Dude, I'm
reinstitute the
Ethiopian
policies.
who lives as an immigrant.
Right,
There.
but I'm just saying, I'm just using you as a South African right now. I understand. I heard you the first time. You're not South African. You're Ethiopian national. So you're not really Ethiopian at all, but you nationally live there. I get it. So the whole thing is this. If they can ask their government, those laws and shit are still on the books. They can ask their government to reinstitute those laws, the conscription laws, and just maybe dial them back or change them up a little bit to deal with the issue of illegal immigration. Those Negroes is over there stealing money. They don't want to pay to secure their border. And instead of doing what they're supposed to do, they would prefer to allow their citizens to carry out xenophobic violence against immigrant populations, because they have convinced their citizens that the reason they don't got enough food and money to feed their families is because of unchecked illegal immigration, while at the same time their government is doing absolutely nothing to control the border, right or wrong.
50-50. You're half right.
Okay, let's do this. We got Mr. Philip Lindsay. Go ahead and unmute yourself. Well, let me or can you unmute yourself, or I need to unmute you?
Finally, a voice of logic and reason. What's up, Phil?
Go ahead, Phil. Phil,
go ahead, guys. I'm gonna punch in, punch out. Brandon's doing a great job. Dynast bringing it again. The only thing that I had put forward is Ronnie Casserles, the former intelligence minister for Mandela, the Mandela administration. He said right off from the jump that the banking community, right after Mandela got elected but had not taken office, came in and told him, look, you cannot implement the 13-point economic plan that he had outlined for years as to what they were going to do when they took power. And they said, if you do it, then we're going to let this place fall into a civil war. And so they were up against it to what they could do. But what Brandon is saying is correct. What they wound up doing was an abysmal failure. So, I was just supporting that point. And what I had talked about before with this is why is there such a huge European population there? And the reason why is because there are only a couple of places in the world that are choke points for world shipping. So the Cape of Good Hope, if you pull up the map of the shipping lanes, the Cape of Good Hope is one of the keys to get shipped goods from one part of the world to the other. And so if the Cape of Good Hope had a hostile government to European shipping lanes, then their economy would collapse. So why are they dug in there? They're dug in there because they know that this shipping choke point is critical to the global economy for them, pure and simple. And so they're not going to have a government in there that threatens that, or they're going to try not to, better state.
And one thing I want to say to piggyback off you, Phil, there's one thing, do you know why South Africans hate Nigerians the most? And Liz, you can learn something, because Nigerians is about business. Let those Nigerians come in there for a couple of decades. They'll be running all that shit over there. And the white man is not going to allow a Nigerian economic mind to operate in such close proximity to a critical shipping port for him, because he knows wherever they go, they find a way to weasel their way into the infrastructure, the economic infrastructure of that place. So there's a reason why you buffoons have been programmed and engineered towards hatred of Nigerians over hatred of Botswanians or whatever you call them, or whatever other country these guys are near there. Botswanan people don't go around starting businesses like that. They're not as clever and savvy with business as Nigerians. The white man knows if he allows more blacks into South Africa, he will start losing his grip on that country. Because like we said in America, it is a numbers game. Just the same reason why they don't let a bunch of African immigrants into America. It's a population and numbers game. That's why you don't see these goofballs attacking Chinese immigrants. You don't see these goofballs attacking Lebanese, Arab immigrants. You only see them going after other blacks because that's who they have been programmed to attack and hate. And all the reasons they're talking about is all just word salad because they're not looking at the number one perpetuator of illegal immigration in any country, the government. Sorry, Phil. Go ahead.
No, you're bringing it, dude. I just wanted to tap in and do the last little thing, which you guys are on message with this, which is, look, we've got to get focused on building our own infrastructure here and getting those supply lines and infrastructure in Africa. And when we start taking these positions, like, what our real problem is? It's that Nigerian guy who opened up the restaurant, or who started the security company. That's my real problem. It's not that I can vote for either party and they will basically ignore me because I have no mechanism to punish them. It's not that I donate what little money I have and I go and stand in line for 3 hours to vote, and then when they decide, you know what, I'm not really feeling your businesses this year, so you're not going to get those small business loans. Sorry. That's not our problem. It's that Nigerian guy. It's that dude from Togo who, it's just madness, Brandon. So I'm so happy to see someone out there, you guys out there, saying, look, stop this. We need each other to build a market for ourselves so that we can have money for ourselves. That's how you have leverage. And most importantly, we need a punishment mechanism. So if Congo says, hey, that coltan that you need, because every iPhone in the world needs coltan to be able to run, well, until you start treating my guys in the United States, my guys in the UK a little better, we're going to have a little price spike.
Right.
Because that's what the Japanese do. That's what the Koreans do. That's what the Chinese do. And that's how they get legislation. You can look at it right now. That's what the Israelis do. That's what the Saudis do.
And it's a legitimate, and it's legitimate too, because if you say, I'm not sure that people who look like me are safe in that area, then you can justify a price hike because you can say, so now I have to outsource. I have to outsource my shipping, my supply line, all that. I got to get somebody who doesn't look like me to bring it in there, which is going to cost money. So that has to trickle down onto you.
Well, exactly.
It's business.
Well, look, we've been saying this, and I say it, and I tap in every time you guys get on something like this because it's so critical. We are them, they are us. Do your DNA test, and you will find out where you came from. We can't do this nonsense of like, oh, well, they're them and we're us, and we don't have anything in common with them except we're both brown and melanin. That's insane. And the more that we do that, the more we hurt ourselves, because the bottom line is we've got to work with them just like every one of these other groups do. The difference why we don't have assets is we're only 15% of the population. Brandon, we've talked about this. We're 15 to 16% of the population. So in a country that's majority rules, the majority writes the laws. The majority says what your citizenship is or isn't. The majority decides if you eat or not. So how are you going to eat? It's simple.
And that's what you'll never see in white society. You'll never see
Hey, Brandon, real quick. Well, finish your statement. I got a South African on, so I want to hear directly.
You'll
from
never
South
see the
African.
majority population who controls everything, surely on numbers, complaining about the minority. You hear whites in America complain about immigration, but that's because half of their population, along with the little minorities, supports allowing immigrants into the country unvetted.
Well,
They love DACA and all that stuff. The liberals.
let me just I did make a point on this, and we got to get this. The immigration discussion on some level in the United States is political. We have an issue. We have Social Security, okay? And just, not like, oh, I know all of this stuff, whatever. But this is kind of important. We got to understand this. That when Social Security came into existence, of which blacks were primarily excluded from it, by the way, that it was like 5 or 6 workers to every one retiree. And the average age of death for an American was around 60, 65 years of age. So that's why they set the age at 65 initially to get it, because most people were going to die before they even could collect. Now, the ratio, we've got the baby boomers retire. That's the biggest cohort of children in the country, in the history of the country, right? So we have, I think the ratio is something like 2 to 1. For every one retiree, there are 2 people that are working, contributing to our system to be able to pay for them. But here's the difference. A lot of these people are living to 80, 82, 83, right? So basically the system is drawing out with retirees more than we're contributing. So how do you solve that if you have a low birth rate? And we have a low birth rate because people have figured out for each one of these kids you have, it costs $150,000 to $250,000 to raise that kid. And that's you hope if that kid goes on and is a taxpayer. If he's not a taxpayer, then he's going to be more than that because he's living at home or she's living at home. So here's the point. We got to have the immigration. We got to have the immigrants. We don't have
the workers. You need the workers. You need the workers to pay. Hey, listen, Phil just dropped a word on y'all that a lot of y'all didn't even understand. You need a workforce to pay for immigration. We are so in debt right now as American workers that we will never be able to sustain Social Security. And you used to hear Bush and George Bush and them talk about adjusting and changing up the guidelines and rules for Social Security, and everybody hated that. So what you need is basically like a slave labor force to come in working for cheap, doing low wage jobs so that you can take taxes from them, which then pays for Social Security and all these government entitlements and all that. But we got to let the South African dude talk.
Yeah, let me make this last point, and I'm ducking. Here it is. Look, if you're undocumented, then I can hold your job over you, and you're not going to be able to collect. Period. Full stop. So that's the deal. They want them there. They want them vulnerable. And when I get tired of you or you complain about your work conditions, I can drop you out and let you go. It's that simple. And it's not going to go away. We have to adjust to it and get our own thing up and going. Guys, thanks for letting me on. I appreciate you. Keep doing what you're doing.
I appreciate you, Philip. All right, we got let's see here. Ready, Madimba. Go ahead. Well, first of all, hold on one second. Kid Ola, are you South African? I want to hear from South Africa.
Oh yeah, guys.
First of all, hold on one second.
George, mute your mic. George, mute your mic.
Hold on, let me mute him. Hold on, Okay. George, mute yourself. There you go.
Okay.
All right, Kid Ola, are you South African? Unmute yourself, kid, because you've been waiting. Okay.
Nigeria, bro.
Okay, well, I want to hear from the South Africans, brother. So if you could just hold tight a little bit. And guys, make sure you hit the like button again. Please hit the like button. And also, I'm going to announce it here shortly. Let me pull this up real quick. Sierra Leone citizenship. All right. So if you have your African ancestry DNA test results and links back to Sierra Leone, you're eligible for citizenship. I'm taking another group in November. So hit me up. I'm going to be updating the site here shortly. So there we go. Let's see here. Ready, Kabbalah, Madimba, go ahead. Ready.
Hello.
Yeah, go ahead.
Oh yeah, yeah. You just want to speak to South Africa. Okay, that's
Are you South? What are you? Ready?
Congolese, but married South African.
Okay, let me hear from George. Go ahead, George. George, you got a lot of background noise, George. George, turn your TV off.
Yeah, okay, let me just try. I don't know what the problem is. Okay.
Yo, guys,
okay,
can
sorry.
I just say one quick thing?
Please hold on just a second.
No, I want to hear from the South African real quick.
So
go ahead, George. Go ahead and talk. We hear you. Go ahead. Go ahead, George.
Hi, sorry, guys. Yeah, no, I just wanted to, just say that, we have. Can you guys hear me?
I can hear you. My whole thing is these people be talking about immigrants. They can't even work basic fucking technology. Like, you got bigger problems.
Hold on, KG. KG, are you South African?
Yeah, I'm South African.
My whole thing is,
go ahead, KG.
Yeah.
Go ahead, KG.
They can't even work basic.
Okay, there's just something. Can you guys hear me?
Yeah, we can.
Yeah, there's something I wanted to say to Brandon, because he said during the white rule in South Africa, there were no illegal immigrants coming in.
I never said that.
What did you say?
I said they had the borders under control.
But still, there were illegal immigrants coming in.
Didn't say that. There's always going to be illegal immigrants, but the white man had it under control to where he wasn't having to beat up and kill illegal immigrants. Didn't say that. There's always going to be illegal immigrants, but the white man had it under control to where
You got the playback going, ready. You got to turn off the playback. Go ahead, KG.
Okay, if that's not what you said, then you can go to another person, then I'll come back later.
No, first, let me ask you a question. How old are you?
I'm 34.
Okay, so basically in 1994, you were like what? How old were you? Like 4 years old? 3 years old?
I think I was studying grade 1 at that time.
Right, so you were in the first grade.
I mean,
go ahead.
I'm telling you about something I was told. So,
of course,
during the olden days, there was a company called DEBA, the Employment Bureau of Africa. So this company was recruiting people from all over Southern Africa to come to work in the mines in South Africa. So majority of the people who came that time ended up being South Africans. But now there was a tribe from Zimbabwe called the Kore people, which is where the word Kwere comes from. Actually, people say that is a derogatory word. It's not a derogatory word. It comes from the word Kore. They were the first people to come to South Africa illegally because they were traders. They were trading. So they're the first people to go into the townships and rural areas. And even the Boers hated them. They knew that they were there and they were there illegally and they were trading. That's what I was told by my grandfather. And everybody in South Africa knows that.
But here's my question to you, brother. Who allowed them to do that? Who allowed them to come in? Who allowed them to trade? Who allowed the company to hire the people to come in and work?
It's the white apartheid government.
But it was the who?
The white apartheid government.
It was the government, right?
Mm.
So the government could have stopped it, right or wrong?
They could have stopped them, but they couldn't because they got into in their own ways. I don't know how they got in, but they managed to get in, and they were trading.
They could have stopped them. All they had to do is tell the company, if we come in South Africa right now, do they not go and do raids?
No,
wait, hold on. Let me ask you a question. Calm down, bro. In South Africa, just a yes or no answer. Do they not do raids on factories and check people to see their immigration status?
Yeah, they do.
Okay, so that means if you go in, Dynast, if you go in, you do the immigration status check, you find out that 89% of the people in this business is immigrants. You then can retaliate against the company, right or wrong, Dynast?
Right.
Okay, so we're pretending like this is a major issue. that the government can easily fix. Because let me ask you one more question, KG. Are there not plenty of South Africans ready and willing to take those jobs that the immigrants vacate if the government enforced the immigration?
Yes, they are.
There you go. It's your government. It ain't got shit to do with Nigerians. It's your government, right or wrong.
I have never said it has something to do with Nigerians. I was just correcting what you said
So
before.
why are you guys killing Nigerians then?
What do you mean we're killing Nigerians?
Why are you guys attacking Nigerians?
There's some people who are involved in that, but I can tell you, majority of South Africans are not involved into that shit.
Why are you guys killing Nigerians and doing it in the name of illegal immigration? Saying, oh, these illegal immigrants are hurting our country. That's all. I'm not saying you're doing it.
Your question should be, why is some South Africans killing some Nigerians in the name of that? Let me tell you something, bro. Maybe in America it's different from South Africa.
No, it's not different. It's the same hypocrisy.
A lot of people. Okay, allow me to speak, bro. In South Africa, we have something called the townships, or what you guys know as the hoods in America, right? So our townships, whatever brick and mortar you see there, like ever building and what, it's 100% owned by South Africans, right? And listen to me carefully. When you go into the townships, you take a drive around the townships, each and every, say 10 houses you skip, there's a shipping container in someone's yard. There's a business operating in someone's garage, because a lot of people in the township build garages, even though they don't have cars sometimes. So they get these guys, Nigerians, Somalis, to go and operate in those places. If we hated other people so much, why would we allow them to operate in our garages, to put their shipping containers in our yards, and to even now, something that is trending now, people are building apartments in the backyard of their houses. Majority of the people who are renting in those backyards, it's mostly Nigerians and Malawians and Mozambicans, mostly Southern Africans. Why would we allow them to stay in our backyards, run their businesses in our garages, put their shipping containers in our yards, if we hated them so much? Even till this day, I can give you a video. Even if you look at, I have some videos where I was driving around my hood, right? I used to stay there, but now I stay in the rural areas. You'll see those containers. You'll see people operating like, if we hated them so much, why would we allow them to operate freely like that? Tell me.
This is the whole thing. You guys are talking about Nigerian immigration. These immigrants are such a problem.
Some people, not you guys.
Listen,
majority of South Africans are against that shit, Brendan.
Listen, what I'm telling you is there's some South Africans who are against it.
Yeah,
this is what I'm telling you. I already know that it's total BS. And the good thing about you getting on here is you're revealing that this is BS. So when FBA, ADOS gets on and thinks, oh, we have an ally in South Africa because they're going through the same thing. And South Africa says, the South African xenophobe says, oh, we have an ally in FBA. I understand them because they're going through the same thing. Really, when you see someone like Lozy and Shirley Huzar on the panel, you just see two hypocrites who are lying about the reality of their situation in their country and trying to gaslight people with lies and blatant hypocrisy.
I don't even agree with Lozy. I have listened to this guy for many times. I mean, even if you look at Operation Tudula, they launched Operation Tudula, I think yesterday or the day before yesterday. Look at the number of people who were there. They couldn't even fit half of the. There's a place called the Grand Parade in Cape Town. That place is a very big place. They couldn't even fit half of that place. Very small number of people. And if you look at Kailicha, the biggest township in Cape Town, I think it's even close to 500,000 people. That place would have been packed if South Africans really supported that shit.
Hey, go ahead, Lozy. Go ahead, Lozy. Unmute yourself.
I'll greet everyone on the panel. How are you, Dynasty? Thanks for letting me in. Brendan, how are you, man?
I'm okay.
No, man, I won't be throwing words like how you were disrespecting me, but I'll try to have a civil conversation with you so that you can understand the picture, the social status of South Africa currently. Look, yesterday I came on my views to support Black Americans because I stand on that. Maybe yes, I'm not informed like you because that's your society, you live there. I'll touch on that later. So let's address what you've been saying about South Africa. There's few things you got right. There's few things you got wrong. Even the things you got right, I feel like you're missing few details. For example, you were right about the amount of percentage of the white farm owners in South Africa. And I think you do understand where that comes from historically, because we were once colonized, just like every African nation. The only difference is we're still living with a portion of white people here, unlike Zimbabwe, where they kicked them out at some point. So it's South Africa and Namibia that still have a portion of white people, and it's more or less the same with Namibia. But the difference is, okay, we own less than 10% of our farms. I think you said 4%. I'll take that. But at the moment we do have a better living standard compared to the rest of Africa, which is a fact. So I heard your point. You made your case. So here's the deal. I think you said our border is relaxed today, and that's true because we are currently having a Pan-African government. If you know, by the way, ANC is the oldest African party in Africa. It was formed before the 90s. I think it was 1890. So their mandate was always for Africa. Even if you read, it's called African National Congress. It was never about South Africa. And as South Africans, we have realized that it doesn't benefit us a lot. We have got Caucasians that we need to fight in our country who are holding so much power in our economy. That's a battle that us South Africans are committed to take in and deal with it. And it's a battle that we need to be very careful with it because these guys, they control the global economy. I think you are aware of that. So it's not the people we can just wake up tomorrow and kick out because you know the moves they will make. So we need to be very careful about that. I think Mandela's approach was more of like generational play, which I believe we are in it. But let me make it clear with you, Brendan. As an average South African who's a citizen on the ground, we cannot afford to face these guys under the challenges we have and carry the whole continent. Now, you have explained how they get here, which I agree with you. But what you don't know is that currently South Africans are working hard to vote ANC out. That's why when you look at Cape Town, Johannesburg, Pretoria, these big cities, and these are one of the most wealthiest cities in Africa, they're not run by ANC anymore because the people who are in big cities who are affected by illegal migrants, they are the ones who are trying to vote ANC out. The people who are keeping ANC out, just to make you understand the landscape of South Africa, is mostly people in rural areas and people in townships who are not educated. But there's a way. It's just been 28 years, and ANC came as a liberation movement. So there are people who are still loyal to it, but people are getting more educated. By 2024, it's our election. There's a high chance that ANC is going to lose. By the last elections, they won by chance. Now, you mentioned a few things about Nigerians being able to come to South Africa, taking over. I feel like you were exaggerating there. You might like Nigerians. Maybe you heard that we're killing them. And we don't kill Nigerians, by the way. There has been xenophobic attacks. Unfortunately, during xenophobic attacks, people who fall victims of dying are Zimbabweans, Malawians, Mozambicans. Mostly is the southern people because they tend to live among the poor communities, which is where xenophobic is likely to happen. So the Nigerians, there was never a Nigerian who was ever killed during xenophobic attack. However, their small shops were attacked because most people suspected them of selling drugs. The other thing is I need to explain to you so that you can understand the economy of Africa, specifically the economy of Nigeria. The economy of Nigeria is literally not really owned by Nigerians. As you know, their oil and gas for years has been under Chevron and Shell. These are like UK companies that have been raping their oil. It's only recently that Dangote is trying to build one of the largest refineries in the world so that they can stay away from Shell and Chevron. If you go to Nigeria today, there's more than 120 South African companies. These companies, some are involved in oil refineries, some are in energy, some are in banks, financial sectors, some are in supermarkets, some are in mobile services. By the way, if you know, the biggest mobile service in Nigeria is MTN. It's a black South African company that adds more than 13.5% of their GDP. So if you're gonna talk about business comparing Black South Africans and Nigerians, we have made more moves than them. So I think you said that because you don't do research. If you go to Nigeria today, the most wealthy bank by assets, it's called EcoBank. That bank is largely owned by PIC, which is a Black South African majority-owned company. That's the wealthiest bank in Nigeria. 23% shares of that bank, it's owned by Nedbank, which is owned by PIC, majority Black South African. So there's a couple of things you need to get in right before you make certain claims.
Okay, let me just real quick. Let me just get these 2-3 questions because you said a lot. Okay, first and foremost, I need you to answer this honestly. Do you support white leadership in South African government if the white person is qualified for the job, more qualified for the job than a black person?
I wouldn't because I'm gonna tell you.
Man, you just said you did on African Millennials channel, so you changed your story.
No, I never said I would vote for.
You said despite of color, the people who are most qualified for the job should be given the jobs in government. You said that. I remember.
No. Right. The question that I was asked was that will I allow someone from Nigeria, for example, to be in our government if they've been here and they are citizens? These are Africans. And my answer was, as long as this person has got the best interest for my people, I'll allow them. I know exactly what I said.
So you don't So you don't support white people in the South African government?
Look, personally, my personal answer, no. But Brandon, don't be smartass. I'm listening. I give you a chance to
speak.
I'm
not being a smart ass.
No, don't try to be a smartass here. Give me a chance to respond.
My next question.
No. Dude,
Nigerians don't get. My next question.
I'm saying. I'm just saying personally. I'm saying personally. I wouldn't vote. I wouldn't want them in government. But apparently, we are branded as so-called democracy. So some people vote for them. We do have white parties in South Africa, which are also big in government. But personally,
but y'all not getting them up out of South Africa to Nigeria. Let me ask you another question. Let's just move on from that, because
but don't try to be a smart ass with your questions. Allow me to answer them. When you ask me, allow me to answer.
Lozy, hold on real quick, bro.
I'm trying to be respectful with you because you spoke a lot of shit about me, but don't be smart ass now.
Look it. All right, you gonna kill me now? You gonna do me like a Nigerian?
I'm
just asking. Okay, wait. These guys got a short temper. These guys
you're not worth to be killed, man.
Just let me get to my next question.
Brendan, you're not that special, man. Why will I kill you?
Listen, bro, listen. So you guys said we don't kill Nigerians. Is it true or not that there was a reggae singer in South Africa named Lucky Dube who was killed by South African marauders because they thought he was a Nigerian?
I'm gonna explain to you. Can I do
that?
No,
I want to know the answer.
No, it's not. But I'm gonna break it down to you. Lucky Dube was killed by 2 Mozambicans and 1 South African that was involved with them. It was 3 guys. The Nigerians in South Africa made up that story. Nobody has ever said that other than Nigerians in South Africa. You can check anywhere and show me where those guys are making those claims. There was never nobody who said that Nigerians took the whole thing and make that opportunity about themselves. Just like during xenophobic attacks, I think it was xenophobic attacks back in 2018. They took the whole thing and made it about them. Well, it was about the taxi driver who got shot by an illegal immigrant who was selling drugs to school kids in South Africa. So they always hijack these kind of things when they happen. We have got bigger problems in South Africa, Brandon, that I think in respect you should be here on the ground most of the time to really understand what's going on. I did on my own try to speak on certain things supporting Black Americans, which I'm not educated in depth with, that I won't go as far. I won't make big claims like you because I'm not on the ground in America, but I can only use what I've seen online. Then in respect, I'm willing to learn as well on that other side, but don't try to speak with authority on our side because we know what's going on here on the ground.
Okay, so you're talking about Lucky Dube wasn't killed because these guys thought he was Nigerian. New York Times.
No, nobody cares about. You think the thugs cares who you are if they want to rob you? They don't give a damn about your nationality.
These guys literally said they thought he was Nigerian. They literally said that. And why did they say that? And why did they say that?
Where?
Because they knew if they.
Where did they say that?
Listen,
Brandon, that's a lie. Brandon, that's a lie.
Where did they say that?
That's a lie.
Where did they say that?
All right, can I please say my point? Can I finish what I'm saying? Okay, so these guys now this is why I believe they said it, because I believe they felt like if they said we thought he was a Nigerian, they would pretty much get off scot-free, because pretty much it's acceptable to kill Nigerians in South Africa. You guys gang up on Nigerians all the time. When you guys,
Brendan, I think you are discouraged now. You are
no, I'm not. When you guys target one group,
being childish, Brandon.
I'm not being childish. All right, bro.
You're being childish.
Hold on. One second, Lozy. Let me hear
make
from
this about
being
Nigeria.
childish. Hold on, Lozy. Let me hear from Josie. Josie, go ahead. Josie, go ahead.
Yeah,
Listen,
look,
listen,
like you do.
listen.
Unfortunately,
Hold on, Brandon. Let me hear him real quick.
Hold on. Yeah, he said Josie Gold. He said Josie Gold.
Brandon, let me
The
hear.
man
Let me
said
hear
Josie Gold. Are you Josie Gold?
Dynast, wait. Before he says what he says, can I just put some context to what he's about to say? The 3 gunmen confessed that they did not realize it was the reggae singer. They thought it was a Nigerian, and that's why they shot him to death as they were trying to snatch his
Brandon,
car.
where did you hear that? Brandon,
I'm reading it off the LA Times.
Where did you hear that? LA Times. Are you crazy? We live in South Africa. We don't read no LA Times here.
All right.
There's never no one ever said something like that. That never happened. Look, rest in peace to Lucky Dube. And then the whole Operation Tutula thing. Operation Tutula is something that's in Gauteng, basically in Johannesburg. And it's not just targeted at foreigners or at just African foreigners. It's targeted mainly illegal immigrants. They don't go around attacking people, and they work with law enforcement to remove illegal immigrants in the country. And unfortunately, some illegal immigrants commit a lot of crimes. That's what they focus on. So and we don't go around killing Nigerians just for no reason. Like Brandon is making it seem like we just get up one morning and just run around killing Nigerians. That doesn't happen. Sure, have there been Nigerians who died in South Africa? Yes, and it's unfortunate. And it's a terrible thing, but no one's going around just hunting Nigerians down. That's an exaggeration. Yeah.
Dennis, please let me protect Nigeria here, please.
Oh, go ahead, Kidola. Go ahead.
Because these guys are talking nonsense out of their mouth. These South African idiots. Let me just be straight with you, man.
Hey, Mambara, don't call us idiots, you fool. Don't call us idiots, you bastard. No, don't call us idiots, you shit.
Dennis, you can come. Look, the South African business that come to Nigeria to do business are white South Africans. They're not blacks.
No, not all of them. They not PIC, Public Corporation of South Africa. Don't check PIC.
Man, let me speak, my brother. I'm in Nigeria. I know what is going on. That mobile phone company that came to Nigeria was the first South African company that came there, because at that time mobile phone was just coming in. Then Nigeria said you must have to partner with a Nigerian for you to operate. Then guess what happened? After a year, a guy from United States who was doing business in the United States is the second Nigeria richest man. Now coming to the business by borrowing a lot of money. Because Nigerian government did kind of like expect, can you redo it? The bank didn't want to borrow the guy money. But other rich Nigerians borrowed the guy money. The guy now is called Glow.
Glow, yeah, that's what I use. I use Glow.
Yeah, Glow, bro. Then that's how Nigeria business started growing. This telecommunication business. The business
MTN is the biggest mobile service in Nigeria. It's South African company, black company.
Let me speak. ShopRite is mostly owned even by Nigerians.
No, you are lying. ShopRite even left Nigeria. You are lying. ShopRite is no longer operating in Nigeria. Stop lying.
Hey, shut up your mouth. I'm not coming to your country for anything, fool.
Stop lying.
Hold on. Let's be nice, but let me interject. Kidola, I was just in Nigeria this past October. ShopRite is still in Nigeria.
Yeah, ShopRite.
No.
The percentage of the shareholders in ShopRite now is even owned by Nigerians. That's why
they pulled out.
Nigeria begged them, please don't burn down this.
ShopRite is now owned by Nigerians.
Percentage of it is being owned by Nigerians. You understand me? Nigeria might drag you in for business, but they will let you take it over. It's not now they started it. They started even during the British colonial time when the British wanted to take over what called the palm oil route. They fought for it. You see, Nigeria know business for a very long time. Concerning South Africa,
Hey y'all, real quick, guys. Listen, if you're in Nigeria, make sure you get your Glow MTN. I mean, Glow.
That's good, my brother.
Glow. I
That's
use
good,
Glow.
my brother.
Glow
That's good,
service
my
is great.
brother.
I love Glow. I love Glow. Make sure you get
Omo
Glow.
Naija,
I'm Glow.
God bless you a lot. You
There you
understand?
go, Glow.
Then,
there you go. All right, go ahead.
Then, because these Black South Africans have never really come in contact really with other Africans, maybe apart from those very countries around them, Zimbabwe, Zambia, and all those things. These people also heavily oppressed by the white South Africa also, as kind of like satellite state that they don't want them to really much communicate with the blacks in South Africa. So when everything pump out, then when the whites give space to the blacks, then West Africans came in there like Nigeria, who are already very savage in businesses. Then there are some shadow hands behind it. If you check the people attacking foreigners, you could see that they are not well educated. They are kind of like the savages in the country. They use the shadow hands, use some other middle class men, and sell story to those people. Say, look, these people are coming to take over your business. Are coming to do this. Are coming to oppress you. Are coming to do some, because they have never really have real deep contact with other really blacks in terms of I know you, you know me, just the way Nigerians and Ghana is. So these shadow hands understand when Nigerians coming to. That's why brother just picked my mind that when Nigeria started teaching these South African blacks about real business, they're scared that these South African blacks would know.
But what real business? Because you're not even owning most big companies in Nigeria.
What
business?
When you win this business, you win the power. You understand me? When you win the business, you win the power. That's
you don't even own your own oil.
Look.
Okay.
Hey,
bro, let him finish talking.
Let me speak. Me that is talking to you, my brother.
Dynast, share the screen, Dynast.
So what happened? Nigeria win the economical war with the British before the political war. First of all, Nigeria blocked them not to occupy the real businesses, the cocos at that time, the palm oil, the robbers. They blocked them not to be the source. They should not be the one picking it from the source. We said to you, you can take it out.
Guy, make your point. We need to respond to this. Make your point. We need to respond to this.
So the South Africans doesn't have that kind of power. They only know how to walk and claim for the white man. That's just what they know. And anything you tell them, they will dance towards it. South Africa blacks, only few now, some of them are having real estate in some town where they're coming from originally. You understand?
Bro, we need to respond to this.
They don't have nothing. Do you people control your movie?
Point.
Do you people control your movie? It's not the white man that control your movie.
Okay, pause for now. We need to respond to this.
Josie, can I please respond?
You fucking
Dennis, can I please respond? I've been listening quietly. Dennis, sorry. Dennis, that guy speaking is a light-skinned South African. Is this what we call they call themselves
finish your point.
They call themselves there the colored. It's not the dark South African. This guy even hate the dark South Africans, even that is even speaking now.
Who are you talking about?
Stop coming to all these places and start discussing. It's a real South African.
Make your point.
You are not.
Make your point and finish.
You are not. You are a fake one.
Okay, Dennis, can we please respond? We've heard him now.
Okay, kiddo, let them respond. But I got to. So let me interject real quick. You said that Nigerians don't own their own bank. That's a lie. I think is that what I heard?
Dennis, yeah, I said they don't even own their own oil. Their own oil was owned by Chevron and Chevron and
the largest. Dangote is building the largest.
It's only recent, Dennis. It's only recent, but historically, Chef and Shell are still having large stake in that oil. That's a fact.
Dennis.
Okay. All right, go ahead, Josie.
Dennis, wait.
Josie, can I please respond first, please?
Okay, go before me. I'll let you go. I'll come after you.
Dennis, even the share is even over Nigeria now. Even the share is even over Nigeria.
Okay.
All right.
Let go ahead, Josie. Go ahead.
Look, as you guys know,
I'm gonna let the other guy talk. I'll come after him. Go ahead.
Nor am I Nigerian. I have to be honest. Nigerians are not controlling shit in South Africa besides the crime. These guys are the biggest mafia group in South Africa.
Oh my God!
No, bro, let's stop. No. You see,
Brandon is
if
right.
you want
God
South
damn,
Africans,
I want Brandon to be
bro.
wrong.
Look, I live there. Okay, let me just say my piece. I lived there, and I also lived in Eswatini. I can tell you for a fact, these, even when I was in high school in Eswatini, because I went to, I was lucky enough to go to a pretty high-end high school where a lot of high-end people are going. I have seen 2 people from that school whose fathers were kidnapped for money during the 4 years I was there in that high school, and it was done by Nigerian gangs. This happens all the time, everywhere. These dudes have a lot of criminal gangs within those countries that do a lot of this shit. So you cannot expect a country to tolerate this stuff without retaliating once. If we expect South Africans to have a certain level of behavior, we should also put demands on these groups to have a certain level of behavior. Nigerians in South Africa should be calling out this shit as equally. And
So
secondly,
basically, you're going to end. So basically, if you
Can
get
I
rid of
finish?
the
Brandon,
Nigerians, you'll
bro,
end
Brandon, can
crime
I
in
finish?
South Africa. Dude, you guys
Dude,
are just being xenophobes. And the more of you get in one
dude,
space,
I'm
it
not
comes
even from
out.
South Africa. I'm not South
So why are
African.
you
He's not
talking
South
about it
African.
then? So
Bro,
why are
like,
you
this is
talking
honest
about it
fact.
then?
live
Like,
there.
when I live there, I see it. I can't deny it. This is
Bro,
just
you don't
like,
even
dude,
live
like
there
even
no
one of my
more.
classmates had their father kidnapped by a Nigerian gang.
Cuz
He was
got his
gone for like 2
girlfriend
months,
stole by a
and
Nigerian. He hit her with the long stroke Kwame. Now he mad for life.
oh my god, bro! Like, can we
Brandon, you're
stop
being
being
childish, bro. Like you're
Yeah,
being
exactly?
so
okay.
disparate
Can
now.
I
Why are
talk?
you so being
Are
so
you done?
Josie,
defensive?
can I
Hey,
also just
Lily,
finish one sec?
Luke.
Wait.
Oh,
Let me
sorry.
just
Okay,
finish.
go ahead.
And can
Go
we
ahead.
just stop
No, go
comparing
ahead.
and saying, "Oh, you don't own your oil. You don't." Look, South Africa doesn't own its mines. Nigeria doesn't own its oil. Let's stop having a tallest midget
That's true.
competition or
I
micro penis
agree.
competition. No African
I
country
agree.
controls their resources. So let's stop going back and forth about useless stuff. We should be focusing on how to gain our resources and not trying to have a micro penis competition. But yes, like I said, Nigerians need to keep Nigerians in check when they go to other countries, especially in South Africa, if they want some level of respect. And South Africans should keep South Africans in check.
Okay. Look, I need to make one point clear. Not all Nigerians in South Africa are bad. I think that's something that needs to be put out there. Sure, there
Damn,
are
that
bad
was a
apples.
milestone. You sure you didn't choke saying that? You good, bro?
Choke saying, Brandon, stop
You
being
sure you
childish.
good?
Brandon, stop being childish. Look, but unfortunately, there are some bad apples, and there are people who have it in for them. It's not. That's just the reality. But look, like what this guy Ola was saying, was talking a lot of crap. There's no Nigerians that came here to teach us about business. I'm sorry, but I haven't seen Nigerian successful businesses that are owned by Nigerians in South Africa. It's just not there. The problem is that, look, the reality is that some foreign nationals are involved in crime and illegal activity, and the people who live in those neighborhoods that are South Africans have problems with them, and unfortunately, some of them have attacked them. That's the reality. No jokes. I'm not laughing around. That's just what happened. Yeah.
Man, you know what, Dynasty?
Can I quickly respond? Please, I need to respond to this. I need to make this point.
Go
South
ahead.
Africa is home. South Africa is home to largest immigrants of African immigrants on the continent. When it comes to the country that has got more African migrants on the continent, and I want to understand this. South Africans are xenophobic. Yes, there has been few attacks historically that happened, but can Brendan answer this one question? What is it that Africans are running from their countries to want to risk to stand xenophobic? Like they want to live with xenophobic people. There is something that we're not addressing, that we cover it up with xenophobic. It's this. It's either South Africans are really xenophobic or there is something going on. Like my brother from Ethiopia there, he can literally back up me on some stage in case of other things. Like I said, we did have instances of xenophobic attacks in the past. But if these things were really, really there, why will we be sitting down with one of the largest African migrants on the continent? There is a bigger issue here that people don't want to address. The biggest issue is, why are Africans leaving their blackest countries running to South Africa? If we can address that, because that's the root of the problem. Whether our border is loose or not, that's a secondary problem. The fact is they are on our border and trying to jump in. The question is, what are they running away from? Maybe if Brendan can address that.
Okay, Mr. Boss. We're gonna address the question. The reason why they're running to your country is because there's a conflicting message that is basically being emitted from your country. On one, it's the same like America. You Americans are saying they are against illegal immigration. But the American government is basically speaking in a certain language that gives the immigrants this message that they want them to come here. If you look at the border of the United States, immigrants were being interviewed at the border who said that they felt like what Joe Biden was saying, the language he was using when he was giving his speeches, they felt like he was telling them to come here. Dynast, am I wrong or am I right?
You're right. You're right.
That's the same thing that's going on in your country, Lozy.
Hold
on. God damn, let me ask a question, fool. Dang, calm down. Anyway, so you guys, the society has one sentiment where they don't want illegal immigration. And I'm okay with that. If you don't want illegal immigration in your country, you shouldn't have it. It's your country. Go South Africa. But you have to understand that your government is sending a message that is opposed to what your feelings are. And the corporations are, I would say 100%, I'm 100% sure, the corporations are paying off. See, you think that, oh, the ANC is a pan-African government. For one, it's not. And for two, they're not allowing unchecked immigration into your country because of freaking pan-Africanism. They're allowing unchecked immigration to their country because the corporations who hire the immigrants for a lower wage are lining the pockets of your politicians so that they will continue to look the other way on the issue of illegal immigration. And that's what you guys fail to understand. It ain't got shit to do with Pan-Africanism. So cut that shit. It ain't got shit to do. All right,
I need to respond then. Okay.
Go ahead,
You didn't answer. You didn't answer what I asked you.
I answered it.
Listen. You spoke about South African problems. What I asked you is this: what is it that makes people want to come to our borders, even risk being in South Africa illegally, despite us being xenophobic? Please answer them. Not how the government is allowing them.
I'm telling
Brandon,
you right
can
now,
I answer him?
hold on real quick. Your government is telling them to come. So even though
How?
you guys are
xenophobes, where is this? Where are they
even
telling
though
Where are
you,
they
bro,
telling them that?
I just
Where?
explained
Like,
it.
where's the message?
I just explained
No,
it.
Where?
explain it clearly.
All right,
No.
all right.
Brandon, can I explain it to them?
Explain it to him, Kinfolk.
Okay. Here's the first thing to quickly answer your question. The reason why they're coming to your country is because, again, in the 1960s and 1970s, you didn't see people from Zimbabwe or Nigeria or Kenya leaving their nations to go over to South Africa. And the reason why is because there was a Nigerian middle class. You had a thriving Nigerian record industry. You had Leventis stores. The Nigerian society was working. Kala showed, and me and Kala don't always agree, but shout out to him. Him and Dinus had the video on how Liberia was, right? What's her name? Nina Simone lived in Liberia during the 1980s, 1970s. So these societies were working, right? Even though I'm not a fan of the whole whatever, but I don't want to get into that. They were working. When did Africans start to look for alternatives to leave their country? This was when the IMF structural adjustment programs were put in place that said you can no longer spend on your internal civil service. You can no longer spend on your infrastructure. You have to deregulate your economy and sell off a lot of things to so-called private investors. That's when people started leaving their countries in mass from Africa. That's one. The part that I want to point out that Brandon, that I don't think you and Dinus noticed with these brothers from South Africa, no disrespect to them. They came on the platform, and if you notice what they did, they came on and they said, yes, the Africans, especially the Nigerians, they target the Nigerians and say, yo, they know good because I support you guys. They're blah, blah, blah. What they were trying to do was they were trying to get together in this attempt, right, to engage in this shared white supremacist logic of let's hate the immigrant. And so the whole premise, because this is, I think, a continuation from yesterday's conversation, is that, and I wish the sister was on here to talk. The truth of the matter is, in America, Black people in America have to create a community. Not what that sister was talking about, oh, I fought in the community and blah, 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 and I marched in this. That's not community. If you don't have a structure in place like the Hebrew Hasidic community, you don't have a community. And everybody wants to dance around it. Everybody wants to say, well, other communities is bad. And that's BS. You got Bangladeshi people that moved into this part in New York City over here just 15 years ago. They have stores, they have businesses, they own real estate, they have their own doctors, they have what you call community. So now the kids who are going to school don't have to worry about going down to Wall Street to get a job. They can work within their community. So the black people in America have to build that. I don't know if it's through the Nation of Islam. I don't know how they're gonna build it. I can't tell them what to do. But I'm hoping people like Dynasty and Brandon can figure that out for them.
Let's stop talking about fantasy.
I need to respond to that, please. Give me a chance.
So now with the hold on, I'm almost done, brother. I'm about to end it, and you can respond.
Just stop right there. You did good, bro. Let the brother talk. God
damn. Okay, good.
Okay. Guess I'm up. Just to recall from yesterday, I stressed about 4 things. I never mentioned Nigerians. I don't know where you get that from. However, I said us as Africans, one thing we must do first, we must stop running to America and to involve ourselves into the Black American business. I'm talking about those migrants that are there they're involving themselves in the business of Americans and the government of America.
But they're not doing that.
But let me name label number 2. I said, us as Africans, we must build Africa so that it can stand, and Black Americans will have so much respect and dignity there if Africa can protect itself as their original home. 3, I said that I stressed that.
Okay, but brother, while you're thinking of the point, here's the mistake you're making. There are no Africans that are swing policy. Africans don't control the central bank. They don't control the Federal Reserve. Africans are not swaying public policy. These are all silly talking points because it's easy to point at the few African immigrants, some who may be disrespectful to African Americans, and nobody supports them. It is easy to point at them. The average African who comes here to the United States is not looking to get into political office and change the dynamics of America. They don't even have that type of power. They don't have the numbers. What are we saying?
Rosie,
okay, let's say.
Wait, hold on, Rosie. Wait, okay. You just talk. Hold on, bro. You had your 3-point.
I wanted to respond to that, but it's fine.
Hold on. Let me tell you something. You have been fooled by bullshit talking points that only exist on the internet. Africans come to America. 99.9% of them don't even participate in politics. They just work. They find some crappy security job, or they go to school and they just get a job and they put their head down and they just work. What you're under the influence of is lies that these FBA ADOS types are constantly telling you. And then gas them up. Stop speaking fantasy. Black folks don't want no damn infrastructure in America. You know that better than anybody. We want to participate in the infrastructure of white folks in America. That's all we want. We're not trying to build nothing. We're not trying to do nothing. This is what we want. Number one biggest movement online in Black America right now is cut the check. Ask the people what they're going to do with the check once it's cut. Oh, it's my money. I'm going to spend it how I want to spend it. They're not. And if you even say, hey, let's take this check and let's just get a lump of money and use it to build infrastructure in our community, they get mad at you. They go after you. They start attacking you. They start telling you you're a coon and you're pocket watching. There's just lies on both sides. And basically the point I'm going to end with is this. These people think that they're going to be able to go in front of governments, powerful governments, and influence change with these ideas they have. These guys can't even make it. They can't even answer and I'm talking about FBA and the South African Xenophobia. They can't even answer basic questions about what they believe on the internet. And then when you get them in a corner, they start trying to pivot towards the Black love and we don't hate other Blacks. We love this group. We don't care. We're not saying it. They basically abandon their point. These people are nothing more than agents of chaos. And you keep listening to them, they're just leading you down a road to nowhere. This shit's going nowhere.
Because they listen to them in their own country. See, and that's the thing with the South African brothers, and you guys don't want to admit this. In your countries, let's be honest, if you remove the whites from your country, your infrastructure most likely would crumble, You guys don't have the technical capabilities and expertise. You would need other Africans to move into South Africa to maintain the South African infrastructure that you guys love to hold on to so much. That's a fact.
Yes.
Let us
Can I
respond.
respond, Lozi? Hold on. Let me.
Okay.
That's not true, because most of the infrastructure today is built by Black South Africans and maintained by Black South Africans. It won't crumble. Those things are done by the government by Black contractors.
Josie, I love you, but that's cap. As someone who's also been there, that's
it's
cap.
true. What's Lozi? No, I'm being straight.
Can I respond, guys?
It's
I
being
need to
done by
respond.
Black people. Go ahead.
Okay. Okay. Thanks, Josie. Thank you so much. Guess them up. You know that South Africans currently we are the second most rich, educated population in Africa, and our universities, for example, in top 10 best universities in Africa, 7 of them, all of them, even number 1 and number 2, they are South Africans universities, and 70% of students there is Black South Africans. We have got the best engineers, best accountants, best researchers on the continent right now. So I don't know where you get this idea that we're gonna need you guys to maintain South Africa.
Take away the white taxpayer base, your institutions crumble tomorrow. Take away the white taxpayer base, you people fall apart tomorrow. You will be in Botswana.
Let me respond.
Dude, you guys, listen, you guys tore up your own cities because some criminal, Jacob, hold on, bro. You guys.
No, but I'm trying to respond, Brendan. I'm trying to respond to what he just said. You cannot just jump in and not allow me to talk. Let me just respond to the point he mentioned. Please, man.
Go ahead.
Let me just respond to that. Okay. Guys, you know that South African tax collection annually, it's 128, the highest on the continent. And guess who's the highest taxpayer? It's Black South Africans. Nigeria has got more than 220 million people. Their tax collection annually is $15 billion US. Ours is 128 billion US. You cannot come here.
I don't think you understood what I said.
Yes,
I said if you remove the white. If you remove the De Beers, if you remove the Oppenheimers, if you remove the white and Indian power economic structure, and those tax-paying people there and their businesses, let them disappear tomorrow. I don't care how much you collect in taxes from your townships. You guys don't have what it takes to maintain that country.
Let me say something.
Yes. Unless the global powers are the only
guys,
let me respond.
Guys, calm down, dude. Guys,
let me respond.
Calm down, Zulu warrior.
Look, the reality is this. Hold on. The reality is this. Right now, most of the businesses in South Africa are owned by Black people. Most of the taxpayers today are Black South Africans. That's just a fact. Even with the infrastructure, like I said, today, most of the roads today are being built by Black South Africans. The maintenance by Black South Africans. It's something that's done by the state. The contractors are Black companies. That's just a fact.
Hey, let me
so
say
they
this.
can go if they want to.
Do you guys notice this though? These guys get on here complaining about how everybody's ruining South Africa. But then when you start attacking South Africa, they start talking about all the good things. Oh, Black South Africans control all the business. They're building everything. They're paying all taxes. What's the damn problem then? If everything's so freaking peachy and is great in Black South Africa, wait a minute.
We cannot look after the entire continent.
I'll let you talk.
To look after the entire continent.
Guys.
Wait, but gentlemen, let Brandon make his point. Let him make his point. Let him make his point. Go ahead, Brandon.
Listen, that's what I'm saying. It's just like the same thing FBA is doing in America. We got 1.5 million millionaires that are Black American in America. But America is so terrible because of Black immigrants. You got all that good junk you were talking about the workers and the infrastructure and all this stuff. But Botswana, it's these immigrants and the crime and all this shit. The whole thing is just like Black South Africans are responsible for paying the most taxes, they're also responsible for perpetuating the most crime. But what we try to do, because whoever has the biggest population, they're committing the most crimes. Just like in America, whites commit more crimes than Blacks. But our amount of crime we commit is kind of troubling based on the amount of people, the amount of this society we make up. You guys have to just own your country instead of trying to put all the negative shit on somebody else and all the positive shit on yourself. You're just being very disingenuous. And it might be that lackluster education you got over there.
lack of education. We're the most educated. We've got the highest educated population in
I
Africa.
just set you up. I see what I did there, Dynast.
No,
Dynast,
He's
did you see
setting
what
you
I
up.
did there?
Stop being
Did you
childish.
see what
But
I
you've
did
been
there?
childish.
We're the
But
most
you've been
He
educated.
set you up.
Yeah,
Yeah, we
but
are.
why are you?
But
I
we
set him
are.
up.
But we are.
I set
What's
him
wrong
up.
with that?
Leslie, he's setting you up. Leslie, he's
I
setting you
set
up.
him
No,
up.
but Brendan,
This
stop
is
being childish, bro.
South
Like,
Africa
look.
is so Lozy, hold on.
No, but
South
stop being
Africa
childish.
is so listen, bro. South Africa is so great. We got the highest educated, but
How
then
old
they're
are you, Brendan?
complaining.
Okay,
You
okay,
guys
How old
are
are
okay.
just
you?
Can I just
spoiled.
respond to that?
Listen, listen.
Okay, hold on.
Bro,
Can I just?
Josie,
I need to
Josie.
respond to
I'm
that.
not Josie.
No, I
Hold
need to
on. I'm
respond.
not gonna say nothing. Listen, I'm not gonna say nothing
Okay,
else after
go
this. I'm
ahead.
done. I'm done. I'm
Go
not gonna
ahead.
say nothing else. The only issue here is just like niggas in America, y'all was right up under the white man's nuts, so y'all got a real comfortable, warm position, and you like a damn baby when it's asleep. The smallest draft of air, you're gonna start crying because you're so comfortable with your position. So everything, it's a disaster. Just like Black Americans, any minor discomfort is the end of the world. Stop your whining. Stop your complaining. You live in a pretty good country. Now you need to do the work that it takes to make it a safe place for everybody. That's not based on Nigerians. That's based on you. And I'm done.
Look,
Respond, Joseph.
personally, I don't get why whenever people have these conversations, people just go ahead and talk about Nigerians. The reality is this, Brandon. South Africa, no one has ever said that South Africa doesn't have problems. It's just that some people who live in proximity of these neighborhoods complain about illegal immigration and the crime there. You don't see all Black South Africans complaining about illegal immigration because many people don't experience it. It's only people in major cities, in inner cities that complain about it. So for me, that's where the problem is. That's where you see movements like Operation Tutula operate, because they actually have reason to. Is it all over South Africa? No. Are all South Africans complaining about illegal immigration? No, because it's only people who are in proximity of it. Thank you.
Okay, can I
Yeah.
respond?
Again, here's it. Okay, go ahead. Respond. Go ahead.
Okay. Brendan, were you serious when you said we blah blah about education? We need education because the stats are against you on there. We literally got one of the highest literacy rate in Africa. We actually second highest after Seychelles or Mauritius, somewhere there. So,
hey, if I can interject real quick, so the whole education piece that you guys keep bringing up, that's equivalent to. And listen, I'm not trying to make
I never did that.
I'm not trying to make this a gender war. All my sisters in the chat room. That's like when they try to say that Black women are the most educated group in America, but at the same time, they're the most in debt and the poorest. So the whole education piece is just. I mean,
that's fine, but we can look at even university rankings.
No, come on, look.
Because I hate these stereotypes, because you know the stereotypes that they always attach out.
I get the stereotypes, fine. Just address the issue at hand. Forget the education. But
Lozy, here's the thing.
Get some up. No. Get some up. Let me just respond. Brendan, can you please give me any country in Africa that you know that has got South Africans that have committed crime there and been sentenced there?
Can I respond to that?
Okay, please.
I can look something up.
Yeah, look it up, Brandon, because here's the thing. First off, you guys don't understand. You see, your proximity, it's kind of like, no disrespect to Brandon and Dynast, right? I got love for my African-American family. But when I hear people say, the African-American is which in many instances they is the most sought after African person on the planet. That is true, but they're not going to say, nobody takes it to its conclusion to say the reason why is because you're having close proximity to the greatest nation in terms of whatever it's produced, right? The proximity to being within the United States allows you the access to have, just better resources than any other Black person around the world. So that also allows you as a South African, because your proximity to whiteness within your country spared you the IMF intrusion in the 1980s. You do know Botha, who was your former prime minister or whatever president, was best friends with Margaret Thatcher and Ronald Reagan. They didn't sanction them during apartheid. It was all high fives, dandy, keep the Blacks in check, just like we kept our Blacks in check. Everybody was happy. So they were spared IMF issues. If if the whites had left South Africa, you guys would have faced the same IMF issues, and you guys would have been leaving your countries too. Whether you want to admit it or not, you guys were spared the IMF because of your proximity to whiteness. Can you acknowledge that?
Yes, but let me explain to you.
Okay, so since you can acknowledge that, then
wait, I need to explain.
Go ahead.
Let me respond. Let me just finish. So how it's gonna happen is we won't go down because of white South Africans left here. We will go down because the Europeans who happen to control the global trade, they will use their power to sanction us, just like Zimbabwe. That's how it's going to happen. And we know it's not that white South Africans have got this ultimate power. It's because they are backed up by they are the descendants of Europe. And we know those guys are currently running the world. We're not stupid. So that's how we're going to go down. We're not going to go down because we're not capable. Just
the same way Nigerians are not going down because they're not capable. This is my problem with your logic. Do you guys see what you guys say that... No, I didn't say that. You said that, but you see the rhetoric, the rhetoric that you guys present. The rhetoric that you guys come,
not true.
Wait, hold on. The rhetoric that comes out of South Africa, right? And I've experienced one, but I don't want to use one person to judge all of them. I've had a personal dealing with one South African brother, but I don't want to get into that because it's not personal. This is the idea. The rhetoric that is espoused. What happens is that it makes it seem, look at what you were just saying. Oh, our education, we're so educated. But then I would say, what about the unemployment numbers for Black South Africans with all that education? You understand what I'm saying? So my point is, when you start espousing such rhetoric, then you forget to understand and I hate to use this word, the privilege that you have by being in proximity to whiteness.
Who said
again? If you remove De Beers, Oppenheimers, if you remove the Indian other power class, economic class there from your land, you guys will be hit with IMF sanctions, and then you guys will realize, oh, no more black foreigners. We all need each other. Then we'll be brothers. That's when you guys will realize that.
No. Guess I'm up. Here's the thing. South Africans by nature, we're just not big in migrants. Even if whites leave and we get sanctioned, you won't see us migrating in large numbers. That's just a fact. I'm sorry, it's a fact. Now,
wait, so are you telling me? So wait, you're saying that if the IMF, okay, so you're saying that if the IMF had put sanctions on South Africa the way they put on many other African countries, that South Africans would not have been leaving en masse the way other Africans are leaving their countries? You're saying South Africans would stay in the suffering?
Exactly, and I'm gonna give you a good example.
No, bro, that's total bullshit. If people don't have enough, guys, if people don't have enough resources to feed their family, they're gonna migrate. That's African.
How do you think we lived during apartheid? How do you think we lived during apartheid?
You guys lived in the village. You guys sent your wives into the city to work, and then she brought the money back.
Brendan,
so
you need to stop being childish.
Bro, I know what. Bro, wait.
Brandon,
I'm not. Stop calling me childish. When you got, bro, first of all, you were 6 years old, so please stop acting like you just know.
Yeah, man. Look,
you know that we've got our parents that lived through apartheid. Do you know?
Listen. You guys got a worker card that allowed you access into the cities where you could work, doing housework and all that stuff. Also, you were the main labor force for the farms. The white man still sustained you. You didn't go out there and start hunting buffaloes and shit. The white man he let you work and paid you a pittance. Same way black people survived in sharecropping after the end of slavery.
Where do you think the word Bantustan comes from? What was a Bantustan?
Hold on. Let me answer to that. Look, what defeated apartheid in the 80s is that many people stopped working. They literally focused all their efforts on destabilizing the country.
Man, what defeated apartheid was United States sanctions.
Let me finish. No, fuck the U.S. sanctions. Go tell the government they said fuck you. Look,
damn.
That's what happened.
FBA is not gonna like that.
Yeah. That's what happened. Many people stopped working. Many of them refused to work for white people. They stopped buying from white businesses. They literally shut the economy down. That's what happened. Many people didn't leave. The people that did leave were some of the MKs that went into neighboring countries and camps. But those people were the minority. An overwhelming majority of people didn't leave. If you ask anybody who grew up around that time, state of emergency 1986, they'll tell you they felt like the country was going to come to an end. They didn't leave.
Brother, apartheid South Africa was...
Brother.
Listen.
Sorry, man. Brother.
What's up?
God, see, the truth is, not all South Africans are bad. I don't know these people. They look fake. I think these are the colored inside. They're not really the dark ones. Malema is the real correct South Africa there. Because we cannot, not all South Africans are bad. There's some good ones. The majority are good. Because most Nigerians marry their women. Some of them move to Nigeria. They live in mansions in Abuja and Lagos. You know, you could see sometimes they say, I'm happy to be here. You understand?
The Nigerians over there marrying the white South African women?
No, the black ones. That's what the cause of the problem is, Brandon. It really boils down to that. A lot of these South African guys are angry because their women like South African men. I mean, Nigerian men for some reason. That's what it is.
That's pathetic.
Brother.
That's pathetic.
Brother,
that's just pathetic and it's
difficult for sometimes.
How can we be threatened by economic migrants, guys? Like Islam seekers, refugees from Nigeria. Come on, guys, let's be serious.
You are to have evil.
You cannot be threatened by guys who are coming from failed countries like Nigeria. How can you even say that? We're not threatened by you guys. We are just saying we cannot feed the whole continent. We don't have resources to feed your bombs. The whole continent is failing. You're running down South Africa. Which resources? How are we going to feed you all? We cannot feed you all. We are failing to feed all our people. How can we feed all of you bums?
Okay,
you need to do something.
Wait, so we're feeding us bums. You guys see the neoliberal rhetoric that's flying out of his mouth?
Yes, you're the one who started it.
Guys, one mic, guys. Let Ola talk. Let Ola talk. You guys can talk. Your turn.
It's just like the Black Americans, right? Majority of the Black Americans are good people. If you meet them, they're very nice.
No,
the group that call themselves FBA, and ODS, you can question them a lot. See, I have half brothers who their mom are Black Americans, right? I have brothers.
Stop simping over these women. You need to stop simping over women. You need to stop worshiping our women. Love your women. Stop worshiping our women. Love your Nigerian women.
You see, Brandon, it triggered him. It triggered him.
Let him speak.
It's embarrassing, guys. Love your women and stop simping over foreign women. It's embarrassing.
Let him speak.
I'm not coming to your country. I live large here.
Nigeria is poverty capital. Nigeria is poverty capital.
I'm not coming to your
guys. Think about the audience. They have to be able to hear what's going on.
Okay, so what happened?
Ola, you need to keep it short, bro. You long-winded as fuck.
Okay, the majority of Black Americans are good people. These few ones, this 00 plus 00, they're not even existing. They just want causing problems somewhere. They don't have a large mouth in internet and everything. If you meet some Black Americans, they will say, "Hey, what's up, my brother? How you doing?" And majority of Black Americans are well to do. That's just the truth. A lot of Nigerians are doing business with them. I have a far relative who the daughter married to a Black American guy. They came to Nigeria to do the bride price. You understand? So we don't have a problem with Black Americans. Black Americans came directly from our blood, Nigeria. Maybe that's why we clash once in a while. We love Black Americans. We don't have problem with them. That's just all.
Can I please go next? Can I please go next?
Go ahead.
Yeah, I just wanted to say, look, I feel like I have to fact check both sides in this. Lozy, I like that you're defending your country, but let's not cap to the people. Gas them up is right. If the white population was to just disappear like that in South Africa tomorrow, you would not have the intellectual class to maintain the infrastructure and key industries within that country. That is just a fact. Like, I know your country. You cannot lie to me about that. Let's be honest.
No. Okay, can I respond?
You even talked about yesterday about the refinery company. I forgot what you called it. But
what
happened to that
company? Wait, Lozy, let him finish. Lozy.
What happened to that company?
I want to respond.
Can I just finish the whole thing?
He didn't finish point. Let him finish his whole points, Lozy.
What happened to that company was when the apartheid ended, a lot of those people that worked in that company happened to be white South Africans. And they left.
Yes.
That company hasn't recovered yet. It is still in a downward spiral.
100%.
Most of the technical, and wait, also, I've been to it. I got my first degree in South Africa. I'm not going to say which university because you might check for me, but yes, pretty much one of the top universities there. A lot of the STEM fields are still filled with either Indians or whites disproportionately. It's usually the social science classes that are filled. So, okay, you go to university, but what are you studying is also just as important.
Yeah, that's true. You're making a good
They're
point.
over there majoring in sociology.
Brandon, I need to respond. I always struggle to respond, to pronounce your name, my brother, but I had a good argument with you and I always like your position. What you said is true. But what you're missing is this. I know that if they leave tomorrow, even in terms of the intellectuals that we have, we might struggle, but I don't think we will completely go down unless the global powerhouses come and intervene. One thing is this: since 1994, we have improved in the class that we have educated. Obviously, you're right; it's not as high; it's still disproportional to other races. But I honestly believe that we can pull through. We just won't be running it like now. We'll have a setback, but I think we won't go just completely down.
Wait, Lozi, do you really think if they left that your people would be able to withstand the IMF, World Bank, UN pressures that would come to your country?
But you see,
no,
you're
because listen,
just saying what I said. You agreeing with what I said. I said unless the powerful countries come for us. That's just what I said.
They will. They're coming for every other African country. You think because your accent says black foreigners, they'll leave you alone?
Right.
You think because you can dance the Amazulu and do you can do the Amapiano dance, they're gonna leave you alone?
I answered two things.
Can I say something?
I answered two things.
Hey, listen, I love the Amapiano when the girl DJs do it. I love it. Oh, go ahead. I'm sorry.
Let me
he gonna come for you, Dynast. He don't want you long stroke Atlanta, his girl.
Let me say something real quick, guys. This is what I'm talking about. This is what I'm gonna need all the South Africans and everybody else. And I have the same smoke for Nigerians too. I go after any African trying to go after other Africans. This is the thing. What Liz said, because I can pronounce his name, Liz Yasu. What he said was true. Lozi said what you said was true. Then Lozi started pontificating on what he thinks is gonna happen.
No,
that's way. God dang it, Lozi, shut up. God dang.
Brendan,
let me finish.
Calm down. This is
I
I'm
would
on
calm
the
down
ground.
if you stop interrupting me. If you stop interrupting me, I would be calm.
Okay.
God.
Cool.
Okay. So we have to do this. Is something that I learned when I was in management for like 10 years. They said, look, if someone's right, just let them be right. You don't got to give an explanation, a rebuttal, or explain your position. Liz was right. You guys were, because earlier when you guys were talking about South Africa could survive on its own, you weren't saying I think. You were so adamant. And then he came and brought. Hold on.
You didn't listen to me.
I get you.
But
Lozi, let the man finish. Lozi, let him finish.
But I can't stand these lies. I can't stand this inaccuracy.
Lozi,
like you need to quote me on what I said.
You need to learn how to have patience.
Nah, man.
You're gonna get a chance. You're gonna get a chance. Listen, Ola, mute your mic while you're arguing with your wife. Listen, so what I'm saying is, as black people worldwide, guys, I'm not just picking on South Africans, but I really am. But black people worldwide, we need to learn when someone's right, let them be right. There's no reason to, but this and I think that. That's our problem. Liz is right. They won't survive. Shit,
it's not black
America,
and white, Brandon. It's not black and white.
It's
not black and white. That's why I
hold on. Lozi, hold on. Lozi, hold on.
Listen,
wait,
even
Brandon, Gas was right because I said the point, but go ahead.
Yeah, I understand, but I know Gas was right, but Liz backed it up. But what I'm saying is this is when you were talking Gas, he was denying it. When Liz said it, he agreed with it. But what I'm saying is even black America can't survive without this good white man, this good old white folk. Okay? So what we need to do, instead of looking for little like, but what about this? What about that? When we go to these schools, all we're getting is theoretical knowledge, not applicable knowledge. That's why in America, they tell you, F college, go learn a trade. Go learn something that you can apply immediately. If I become a carpenter, I could say F the white man and F America, but I still can go get odd jobs working on people's houses and stuff like that. Right or wrong, Dynast? That's applicable knowledge. Something as soon as I get the information, I can go use it to make money without any middleman, without somebody validating me. You guys in Africa have a lot of theoretical knowledge. Every other person you meet is a fucking engineer or a doctor, but they also don't have two pennies to rub together. Why? Because they went to the white man's school, they went and took sociology class, philosophy class, public relations shit, right? This one lady I know, she's in school for public relations. Guess what? There's a problem. Public relations can't build no bridge, homie. Public relations can't pave no road. Public relations can't build no skyscraper. Public relations can't even build a doghouse. So when you guys talk about we're the most educated out there, you're educated with theoretical knowledge. You understand the theories, but the application, you need the good white man to say, okay, This is how you hammer a nail into a beam. That's applicable. So I get what you guys are saying, but I'm just gonna go with Liz is right, and we all got work to do. And that work, we got bigger fish to fry than making sure there's not a certain amount of Nigerians in the country and all this other type of stuff. And I'm gonna be out.
Brendan, here's the thing. What collapses these countries is not really education. When Zimbabwe was sanctioned, Zimbabweans were one of the most educated people in Africa. The thing is, these guys, they hold you on trade. For example, South Africa is trading with, I'll say BRICS, for example, right? China, India, Russia, and Brazil. These are one of our biggest trade.
Hold on, mute your mic.
So what happens is, if the Westerns leave us and start to impose...
Dennis, mute his mic. I think he's still talking.
So let's say the Westerns, we kick the whites out, and the Westerns start to target us and impose sanctions on us. If the East, like Brazil, India, Russia, and China, can trade with us and replace what the West was holding, I think we can sustain. This thing is not just about intellect, our people not being educated enough to run a country. It's more like they impose these sanctions that hold a country back. They don't just leave.
May I respond?
So how come you don't take that same credit for Nigerians who come to your country?
Yes, hold on, guys.
What Nigerians that come to South Africa?
Guys, let me respond to that, because you're wrong about Zimbabwe. What did Zimbabwe end is that once the whites were kicked out, the blacks did not know how to operate the heavy farming equipment and machine. Bruh, listen, I've researched this shit, bro. Don't play with me. Listen, the blacks did not know how to operate the heavy farming equipment and machinery for the mass production of agriculture. And it caused a famine and hyperinflation. The blacks did not have the applicable knowledge to keep the large farming operations that the whites were controlling in Zimbabwe going. That was the thing that really did Zimbabwe in, because when you saw it, as soon as it happened, there was like a mass famine over there where their crops were like just basically going bad because they couldn't get the crops harvested and into the grocery stores. So you can look that up. And then
Brendan, I think you need to look more into the issue of Zimbabwe. You are being dishonest here.
All right.
Okay, but wait, forget Zimbabwe. But brother, forget Zimbabwe. Here's the thing. Even if he's right about Zimbabwe, even if he's wrong or whatever, here's the thing. Again, look at what you just did. You made this assumption. You said that if...
Wait, what did you say? Wait, what did you say?
You said you were right.
I know I'm right.
But here's the thing, because most Africans that call on these spaces online, they're the educated class. When you go, Brandon's been to Kenya, Diane's been in all West Africa, all over Africa. You see a lot of hardworking, skilled labor Africans there that aren't going to universities, quoting European scholars and stuff like that, and talking about intersectionality and all that nonsense. But you just made some interesting assumptions. You said if Brazil and India can shore up what the West would do, South Africa can stay on their own. Lozi, don't you think? Wait, Lozi.
You did not hear what I said. You did not hear what. You know that China and India are one of the biggest traders now in the world, even in manufacturing. So what I'm saying is this: Russia, India, China, and Brazil, these are not just small nations. If we can look at how North Korea has been holding, I know North Korea is not like a very good environment. It's not excellent, like even Cuba. These places have got devastating poverties, but they've been able to hold. Now imagine if South Africa can trade with India, China, Russia, and Brazil.
Lozi, the point is, no one's disputing that. What I'm trying to show you is that don't you think that you should apply the same logic to these other African countries?
We are trading. Nigeria is one of the biggest.
No, you're not listening to what I'm saying. Lozi, I don't think you're comprehending what I'm telling you. You just gave it a scenario that, if the Chinese and the Indians and everybody else could shore up what the trade would be if the West disappeared from South Africa. I'm trying to show you that South Africa is not unique. The same constraints that these other African countries that are forcing their people to leave their countries to come to your so-called xenophobic land would happen to South Africa.
But
you're thinking that you're so special that...
But listen to me. But listen, remember, South Africa is already trading with BRICS. Your countries were never, they didn't have the alliance.
That's what I'm trying to tell you, Lozi, again, comprehend this, Lozi. Wait, let me say this last sentence, please. Lozi, again, if I said if the whites disappeared and the Indians disappeared, those countries would cancel their contracts with you tomorrow.
Which
Tonight,
countries?
they would cancel.
Which
All those countries you're doing business with would cancel their
BRICS?
contracts with you.
BRICS is
You think
something
they would?
else.
You think?
So
Wait,
that's why
wait. You
I
really think?
specifically mentioned BRICS because it's something
That's what I'm
else.
saying. You really think the BRICS? You really think the BRICS would still keep those contracts if the
Why not?
European? You think they would keep the contracts?
If they leave, but if they don't, we will
You
survive.
your
Because
friend
BRICS
just
is
admitted
something
that
else.
Zimbabwe couldn't handle machinery.
Zimbabwe didn't have
When
BRICS. My guy, do you ever listen to what I'm saying? I'm
I'm
saying
listening to
the
you.
big-
You're not listening to me. You just said
Yes.
that, dude, they just admitted that Zimbabwe had problems because they couldn't handle the infrastructure. They didn't have the capacity. What
I
I'm
didn't
telling
say
you
that.
is, so
I
listen,
didn't
wait,
say
okay, good. You disagree, no problem. But what I'm telling you is this, that you are saying, oh yeah, look, we have deals with the Brazil, with Russia, India, China, with the BRICS. I'm trying to tell you that the minute those people leave, like I said, that was the premise. If the power structure leaves, right? If they leave, your contracts would be null and void because there's no South African right now that has the capacity to maintain the South African infrastructure. That's a fact.
You don't get my point.
Negative.
I specifically
I
mentioned
disagree with
BRICS
you.
because BRICS, we trade with the West and the East, and where you get the BRICS. My point was this. I believe if we don't lose all the trade with the skills that we have, of course, our country will experience a setback, but it won't completely go down. This has been my argument.
Yeah.
I never said we won't feel a shift. A shift will be there, yes. But if we can stand with BRICS and trade with them, with the skills we have alone, we won't completely go down. We might stand like Cuba, North Korea. We will have a struggle, a setback, but we will hold. That's what my argument.
Cuba has the most educated
Okay, can I add to that? Can I just say this quickly before
Dennis, I want to greet you, but I'm leaving, man. Dennis, I want to greet you. I'm leaving. Dennis,
okay.
Naija, as you enjoy Serelu, remember Naija. Remember I said Naija to that your hobo. Come chop life,
bounce, man. God damn.
yeah. Come
Okay,
and chop life in
Ogabo.
Nigeria, man. We also, yeah.
Okay.
God bless you,
I'm
man.
coming.
God
I'm
bless
coming,
you, brother.
Dennis.
God bless you. God bless you, my brother. Bye bye.
All right, can I just say this before I go? Look, the reality is this, Gas and whoever. Right now, as we speak in South Africa, majority of the infrastructure is being held up by Black South Africans. A lot of the companies are being run by Black South Africans. Has there been a bit of a shortfall? Has it impacted our country? Yes, it has. But right now, that's already happening. There has been a skills transfer, and it's still happening.
Josie, I'm
So if
currently
whites
looking at
left-
the top 30 construction companies in South Africa.
Yeah,
and I'm seeing a lot of white
talking
owners.
about concept, You're talking top 30. I'm talking about the
That's
whole
infrastructure.
country. Most of the roads. Hold on.
top
Let
30
me
most-
talk. I'm talking.
Wait, let Josie talk because we're black foreigners, so we have to bow down. Go ahead, brother.
Yeah. Okay. Look, where I live, I'm from the south of Joburg, like Soweto. When I was a kid growing up, that place had no roads, no nothing. Most of the contractors that built that infrastructure, most of the people that added the water, the infrastructure there was black people. That is just a fact. A lot of the companies, the state-owned enterprises, are managed by black people. It's being run by black people. You might argue, top 30 construction companies, sure. But majority of the construction companies are black. It's just a fact. Peace.
Brother, this is the problem. There's a difference between a construction company that can build a road and a construction company that can build critical infrastructure. That's why I looked at the top 30 biggest construction companies in South Africa. That same construction company that can build a road will be nowhere near the technical skills to build a dam. That's just the truth. Or any other critical infrastructure of high skill level. So when Gastamap says you don't have construction companies that are owned by blacks that can do all of these critical infrastructure and maintain them, he means these critical infrastructure such as dams, power plants, etc. and etc. These are the dude. Every country
Can I just
has
say this
construction
before I go?
companies these
Can
days.
I just quick? I have to go. You'll say your piece. The reality is this: that's already happening. A lot of the tenders, the government contracts that are given to do those things, because a lot of places in this country that didn't have water, that didn't have efficient electricity, a lot of that infrastructure was done by Black South African companies through a tender system. That's already happening, and that's already happened, and it's still going on. Yeah, you can continue. Bye.
Yeah, I know that. but those companies are never going to be. Most of them are not majority black. They just happen to have a certain portion of the ownership that tends to be black, aka shareholders that tend to be black. It's the same thing they did with the mining companies, if you remember, through the BEE thing. That's how, for you guys who don't know, that's how Ramaphosa got rich. They used to have this thing where mining companies would have to give a certain minority
Percentage
share of the,
to
yeah,
minority shareholders.
exactly. I
It's the
think it was
same
like
game that they
maxed
do
at
with Black
15%.
Americans in the
And you know what
U.S.
they do? Yeah. And you know what they do? They give those percentages to people who are politically connected, like Ramaphosa and so on. So when these
Exactly.
miners start striking, Lozi knows this. There was the situation in Marikana where they ended up shooting all those black miners because these white people that own the mines don't want a white face having to be the one to call up to get those miners killed. They would use a middleman, a black middleman, to do it. AKA in that situation, Ramaphosa. That's what they were holding over his head throughout the whole.
Can I
That
just
is the
interject?
situation. Okay, bro.
Can I please
So
add, my
Lozi,
brother? I went, no, let me just respond. I went through the same list you're looking at, and I stopped at number 15. I already picked up 2 black companies there when I was scrolling. So I'll go through that again. We'll have this argument next time. But I agree. Probably most construction companies, I'll have to agree to that. They're still white. I can agree with that. But I'll do more research. Then next time when we talk, my brother, I'll continue. I'll just add more research.
So Lozi, so you admit,
love, bro. I don't mean
so
this in a
Lozi,
bad
so you
way.
admit
But
that
let's
at
just-
the end
no,
of
no,
the
I
day,
understand. Guess them up. Can I just finish? Lozi, I have no hate towards any black South African, bro. I always talk to you guys with respect and everything. But just look at 2 out of 15 so far. 2 out of 15. What's that in percentage?
Yeah, I agree, bro. Facts are facts. Truth is truth. We must be able to take it in. That I agree. I'm a man. I can take it in. But I'll just put more research in. I know you got good intentions, bro. I know that.
Yeah. And just to correct Brandon, the reason why a lot of Zimbabwe's agriculture failed was due to bad politics and also embargoes. Also, a lot of the skilled Zimbabweans or educated Zimbabweans tended to be urban educated. So these guys tended to be teachers. They tended to be educated in fields that didn't align with what the country's national production was. So they weren't agriculturalists or anything. You would even find that even today, a lot of the top educators in mathematics and so on, even in South Africa, tend to be Zimbabweans or people like that. So these were office educated people back in the day.
Hey, listen.
So I understand when you say they didn't have actual ground practical skills. I agree with you.
In Zimbabwe,
yeah, can I just finish?
I thought you
Yeah,
was
you can.
finished. You
No. I
segued,
just
but go ahead.
Yeah. But also the embargo did a heavy number on them because even though they had the tractors and so on, you have to keep importing materials to keep fixing those tractors and so on. On top of that, the embargoes also banned them from importing fertilizer, which also killed a lot of their production output. So it was a mixture of a lot of things coming together. That's why both Lozi and you are kind of right in that situation.
The thing with Zimbabwe, I encourage everybody to look it up. Zimbabwe was known as the breadbasket of Africa. A lot of people think Mugabe was a hero. Maybe in a sense he kind of wasn't, but he wasn't really. He didn't get rid of the white Zimbabweans because he loves black people and the white man gotta go. He got rid of the white farmers in Zimbabwe because they supported a party that was in opposition to his political party. So all it was a trick or a ploy by him to retain power. And once they took over they got them out of there, and the blacks took over the farms, which when we say take it over, it wasn't like he gave farms to poor Zimbabweans. He gave farms to people who were his friends in the government. And those guys then turned around and hired the same whites they had evicted from the farms to run the farming operations once they realized that they had a population that really did not have applicable knowledge when it came to running the heavy equipment, the machinery, and all the production equipment that is necessary to run large-scale agricultural operations. And that's why the maize production and all the production of the agriculture in Zimbabwe went into a steep decline immediately, to the point where it was called Zimbabwe was feeding other African countries with exports. They were a net exporter of agriculture. They went to the point where they couldn't even feed their own population with the little
Brandon, you
food that
speak the longest. Can I just close, please? I want to close and I want to direct this to you.
true
I heard you about Zimbabwe. So
yeah,
here's
you
my
said
take
you was
on.
leaving a while back, but go ahead.
Yeah, here's my take on Zimbabwe. And please, Brandon, when I'm not here, stop calling me little Losey, bro. Let's look, man. That's just not
I
true.
did
You
not
get my
call
point?
you little Losey. I never
Yeah,
said
you
that
did,
even
man.
once.
You
Losey,
did,
I
man.
never called you little Losey. Not even once.
Sometimes you have good argument. I won't judge you. Like me, I'm
Gas,
like this. If
Gas,
you
did
say
I ever
something
call
good, I
this guy
listen to you.
little
No.
Losey?
Listen, Brandon. Nobody's always right and nobody's completely wrong. Sometimes I listen to your point on this street. So listen here. I'm closing. In South Africa, we are faced with the dilemma of the whites running most of the economy, just like the whole globe. We are facing that elephant, and we need to take it on that elephant and be strategic about it. But what we cannot afford with this stupid government, we are also challenging this government. An average South African, we cannot afford to house this influx of immigrants that came in the past, I'll say 28 years, especially when it comes to illegals. At least if we can remove the illegal migrants. That's the challenge we are facing. We are not picking on anyone and leaving the whites. We know the power they have at the globe that can cause chaos they can isolate our country at the village, and that can bring chaos to everyone. So we need to be strategic when we face with it. That's an elephant. But the little that we can do on the ground to remove illegal migrants in the process, we will do that, because that's a temporary solution. While the bigger problem is this giant that is standing on our way. We cannot afford to carry the shoulders of other countries, of African countries, that they are failing their own people. You get my point. While we are faced with this giant.
But Losi, when you guys were under apartheid, did we not carry you?
Let me finish. No, not even. No, I'll get.
So we didn't help you when you guys were under apartheid?
Not even more than 100,000 South Africans left South Africa.
No, that's not what we're saying. No.
Let me finish my point.
Wait, no. You said something because you did the same to Brandon. No, wait, he did the same thing to you. So I want to know. You just said a statement. You said
but let me
that.
finish this statement. I'll get back to that. I promise.
Okay, go ahead.
Yes, I was saying we are faced. We cannot fight in both sides. We need to face one side and be given a space to face this problem we have. We have.
Now it's we. Now it's we. You all flip flopping.
What do you mean? What do you mean we?
Nosy, wait.
Let me finish my point, guys. I need to make this
got
point.
A problem. We've got a problem.
The African countries that don't even have white people inside them, they have enough space to work their tribalism and build their economy, so that if we kick this white, and then we can have a stronger trade as well. But at the moment, everybody's running down South Africa. It's creating chaos, guys. It's not a solution. So we need to be given a space without being judged and called xenophobic. We need to remove the illegals in our country, which is becoming a burden. And this stupid government, I know they've allowed that. That's why we are dealing with them as well. So coming back to you, Gasemap.
I didn't say my point. So can I say it before you respond? Because here's the thing. You just made a very interesting statement. You said that we cannot help these illegals, these black foreigners. Yet when you guys were under apartheid, getting abused, did Africa, Central Africa, let me finish. Did Africa not help and support your people when you guys were under the boot of the white man? Yes or no?
You want me to respond?
I'm asking.
No, yes, they did help. I'm going to respond to you in details. Only 6 countries in Africa really helped South Africa. And South Africans that were in each of these countries were not even more than 50,000. And they lived.
No, we're not talking of migration. We're just talking of how they helped. No, I'm not talking of migrants.
We did help back. We helped back. So what's the point?
Okay, so this is why at the end of the day, I'm going to just say this. Look, you have every right to believe what you believe. And the truth of the matter is, Jose Bronze, who's a good friend of mine, right? He says something that makes sense. When you're in the clinch, you see that proximity of being near the white supremacy structure is good. It helps because it allows you to have access to resources. But mentally, in my opinion, and psychologically, it affects you when you're in the clinch with the power structure. And the way you're thinking and the way you talk. Wait, let me finish, brother. Let me let you go. The way you're thinking and the way you talk is the reason why it is unfortunate that the people who should be looking to work together, who should not be seeing each other as enemies, are seeing each other in this competition. And the real person that you should be looking at. So continue with that logic. I hope that it takes South Africa somewhere. But at the end of the day, we'll see where it takes you to.
What cost Ghana must go in Nigeria? If you can explain to me. Because here's the thing. Africa has got a problem. It's not, South Africa is not isolated to this. The reason why African countries are not standing up, it's because you guys haven't got your shit together. Just like here in South Africa.
Did we not just talk about the IMF? Who is you guys don't have their shit together? What are you saying?
South Africa, face them. That's your enemy. That's your challenge, not South Africa.
We helped you face apartheid. Why didn't you help us face the IMF?
Here we are. You are fighting.
Wait. Lozy. We helped you face apartheid. You guys didn't help us face IMF. Now, no, but wait, hold on. Listen. No one's blaming the average South African for that. These are silly governmental leaders who act like slumlords that did this. Ghana Must Go was not created by the average Nigerian. This was created by who? By a Nigerian in power, a slumlord who is protecting European real estate, so-called African countries. So again, what you're doing is you're taking rhetoric from the upper class who, as Boss Tweed famously in New York City said, you can always hire one half of the poor to beat the shit out of the other half of the poor. So you're allowing people in power to create a rhetoric and a narrative, and they're radicalizing you. Brandon had a whole show the other time about people becoming radicalized. They're radicalizing you, and you're going along for it. Continue. Let's see how it takes you.
Like your own people as well. You are allowing your own Nigerian government to fail you. When are we going to talk about that? Remember, Africa has got all these governments. It's not just ANC. What are they doing as well? Let's look at Nigerian government. What are they doing to avoid their people from running away?
I just told you there is no Nigerian government. There is no Nigerian government.
They're all failures.
There is no Nigerian government. You have slumlords and puppets in power. Because the truth of the matter is, if you tried to do anything in South Africa, they would kill you in 3 days. If I went to Nigeria and tried to do anything, they would kill me. So don't come here and just point fingers at people.
Did you see Operation Dudula, what they're doing? These are young South Africans who are willing to die facing the government. These are young South Africans.
So take your own medicine and jump in front of the bullet first, and then we'll honor you on a post.
Dude, we did that.
Okay, guys.
Okay, can I just ask something to Lozy?
Hey, listen, we're about to close. Let's do this. We're about to close out. We'll start with Brandon, then we'll go around and we're closing out. Go ahead, Brandon. What you got to say?
Hey guys, listen, man. Can you please support my channel? I am close to 5,000 subscribers. I'm trying to hit that 5,000. Yeah, there's 5,000 people who actually want to hear what I got to say. Go figure, right?
Brandon, you're biased, man.
As you guys can see, listen, this is all I want you guys to notice. And Dynast, you could be my witness on this. I do not run away from arguments. I get the little Afrikanis over here, whatever they is from South Africa. Over here. Listen, hold on, bro. Wait a minute, damn. But the point is, when I make a point, I get up here on public forum. I don't hide on my channel. I come to the big dog channel and let these guys come on and prove me wrong if I'm wrong about what I'm saying. Dynast, gassed them up. Would you guys say that these guys proved me wrong about my statements and my sentiments when it comes to the situation in South Africa and in FBA in America?
No, man. Only Gas Them Up does that. That's why you run from the debates.
There you go. So it's over and over, guys. So clearly, I must have some type of understanding about what the hell's going on in this little globe we call Earth that a lot of people just don't have. That's why I think my channel is very valuable. You can go somewhere where someone's just going to stick to the facts. They're just going to stick to the truth. I'm not going to lie. I'm not going to try to lie about Black America because I'm a Black American. I'm not going to go try to lie about Africa because I love Africa. I'm just going to say what the facts are. And ultimately, I'm going to perpetuate us sticking together despite these little minor differences. My job is to bring truth to the light and stamp out little bullcrap, xenophobic, minor differences in behaviors that don't take us forward anywhere. Please come to my channel. I don't care how big their channel is. If I speak a point and they come against that point with some bull, I'm going to wipe the floor with them. I mean, I've went up against freaking Phil Scott and everybody else. And they weren't even able to prove me wrong, because when you have a smaller channel, you have the luxury of telling the truth. When you get these big, huge, swollen, inflated channels, you got to start trying to, measure your rhetoric so that you keep the, the big time money flowing. Come over to my channel, Pan-Africanism Strikes Back, just like my name. Give me a subscription. You will not regret it. I'm going to keep on pumping out the juice. Lozy, my email is in the chat. Email me so I can bring
Brendan,
you on.
you hate.
Hey, we about to close out. Everyone, thank you so much for joining.
Dennis, let me close. Let me close, Dennis.
We'll do a part 2. I'm about to eat. All right, it's lunchtime.
Let him close that deep ass voice.
Let me close, Dennis. Just one second. One second.
Peace.
1 second, Dennis.
We'll do a part 2. We about to go. We'll do a